What we do here is go back.
And hopefully we are live. Good evening everybody, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the something of August, 23rd to be precise. Bank holiday weekend no less if you're in the United Kingdom. So for those of you in the good old UK, hopefully you are going to be having an extended break this weekend through to Monday, which is I think it's the last bank holiday before Christmas. Wow, that's pretty scary. Hopefully you can all hear me and or see me. Yep, Charles says we see and hear you. Good day to you, sir. How you doing, Charles Ballard? And good evening, everybody. Hopefully you're all good. My stats don't appear to be working on the YouTube side of things, so yeah, nothing changes there. Ah, dear. All good. Maybe pump up your volume output a bit. Had to turn it up. That is something which I am finding very problematic, especially with Realtek drivers, is to 4, no, 5, 6, there we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Sound is a little low, it does sound a bit quiet. Is that better now? I've just turned it up very slightly. Video went blank for a second, stated Elgato. Oh god, here we go. Yep, YouTube messing with stuff. Is that better?
I will be with you when I fed the cats.
Gaffer, we don't. Yes, better. Excellent. Sound has improved. Fantastic. And thank you, Mark Gaines, for being a member for 5 months. It says, hello, Mike, Kath, and everybody in the chat. Hopefully you're having a fantastic weekend. It's not too bad here at all. Temperature-wise, 25.4 degrees Celsius. Humidity of just 47%. If you believe one of these cheap Xiaomi devices, which probably needs the batteries changing. Not too bad, feeling a little bit humid in here, but I think I've just been rushing around. I did the cardinal sin, which I prepared everything for the stream, meticulously in my head, in my brain. I forgot one thing. What did I forget to do? Let me know in the chat, what do you think I forgot to do, which I generally don't do. It was a very unusual mistake for me. But I did try to do something a little bit different. Captain Shrapnel says, you look well tanned, been out in the sun. No, just dirt. It's generally mud. I have been out in the garden cutting the grass. So yeah, a little bit, you know, things are. Yeah, anyway, so I plugged in my microphones. You've probably seen them before numerous times. These are the wireless mics that I use, the Boya TX ones, or Boya BYM1 something or other. Anyway, regardless, these charge on USB-C, and in our kitchen there's a USB outlet, got a dual USB outlet, plus we've also plugged in a USB Type-C fast charger into one of the 13 amp sockets. Normally I unplug my Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen and plug it into the microphone and just leave that, and it charges in a couple of hours. So I did that about 6 o'clock, thinking that'd be fine for 8 o'clock, no problems at all. Went out to the kitchen about 8 o'clock, just to go and get the mic packs ready to plug them in, and I'd realised that I had it plugged into the wall socket, the fast charger, but what did I forget to do? I forgot to switch it on. So I had a last minute panic, like, ah! Crazy stuff, I'm not going to have a microphone for the stream, so I plugged it into the fast charger, which is actually, thankfully, one of those fantastic ones from Ugreen. And in about 10 minutes, it managed to charge the receiver from basically completely flat to about 5/6 of fully charged. So, mightily impressed. It must have put in a serious amount of juice in a very short time. So, very happy with that. And speaking of which, that is an excellent segue. We have actually got another bunch of Ugreen products coming up very soon. It will be sometime after September the 5th because the products are under embargo. But they've got their new Qi 2 chargers available, and they will be available from both US links and UK links. And they've sent us over a bunch of different chargers to take a look at and show them to you lovely people. So potentially might be some stocking stuffers on the way. Actually some pretty good stuff. MagSafe chargers, like the ones we saw previously, but better, faster charging, and Qi 2, which is, yeah, basically a lot better. Much better for your phone, much better for your battery, much better all round, less energy wasted, etc, etc. So, good stuff. What about Aussie links, says David Underhill. Aussie links, yeah. Aussie links are difficult, especially if you're not in Australia. It's a strange one. We'll do what we can. If there's links, we'll put them in. Don't worry. Kath will do that. That is Kath's thing. She's in charge of links. So if they're ever wrong, it's her fault entirely. Don't worry. It's for the Ugreen stuff which is coming up, which we haven't done yet. We're not allowed to do it yet. Makiwa says other channels volume 10 to 12 you have to put up to volume 16. Let me increase the volume very slightly and see if that improves things. That is something which actually is what I was going to say just now. With the Realtek drivers, Realtek audio is great in general, but I do find that the volume levels vary all the time. Like even if you install your graphics card drivers, because the graphics card drivers pump the audio via HDMI or DisplayPort through to your whatever or your speakers, just installing a driver for your graphics card changes my volume settings. Like at the moment, my system over there, everything is like, the sound is like really, really hot. So I normally have mine set on Windows to like 20, so I can equalize my volume across recordings. And that seems to be just about right. Whereas at the moment, listening at normal levels, I've got to switch it, take it down to like 10. And it can go up to 100, but I keep it down relatively low, so I don't adjust the volume on my actual speakers because they're amplified as well. I don't want to make things too difficult for me, but yeah, I did the update yesterday, no, it's the day before, and suddenly again my volume is super loud. And then I'll go to my PC probably in a couple of days' time, and the sound will be back to being super quiet, and be like, why? Why did Realtek do this? And being that probably 99.9% of us using Realtek audio solutions on our devices, it is a little bit annoying. Anyway. Semrab says, the sound is good here when the wife gets off a damn thing. Get it. Volume is a bit low. Alright, let's notch it up a little bit. If I can find the correct setting. Oh yeah, we are down a little bit actually, saying that. But I've got to remember how to do this now. Where are we? Advanced sound properties. Yeah, so we're at -1. So let's put it back up to 1. Or put it to just flat. There, that should be better. Okay, how's that? Is that too hot? My peak in, 1, 2, 3, 4, mics unboxing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can't tell. Anyway, looks alright. We'll see. Hopefully that's a bit better. Welly Bob says, I've noticed the latest Realtek onboard audio is inferior these days. My main system, I got USB DAC. Nice. Irish Outsider says, you should be peaking just into the amber. Well, it's just almost, yeah. It is just hitting into the amber. That's about right. Is it better? Sound is a terrible thing. There was one thing I learned very early on from YouTube videos, and that is you can pretty much get away with any type of audio, you can get away with almost any type of visual quality as long as the audio is okay. And you can hear it, basically. It's good. So yeah, I try to get audio as crisp and clear as I can, and as you can tell, visuals I don't really care. That's the way we rock. Anyway, hopefully that's a little bit better. Good to see you all in the chat. Fantastic. Even though it's a bank holiday weekend, I was expecting people to be out and about and doing things, but it seems there's a lot of you joining us, so many thanks to you. And I should say as well, massive shout out to our good friend David Underhill, who got up early at 4:10 AM in good old Aussie. I don't know whether it's because of a bladder problem or just bowel problem possibly, or just enjoys the program. I don't know. Dogs to feed maybe.
slim boy.
Of course, yeah, slim. So yeah, it's I can't imagine me getting up at 4:10 a.m. unless the building's on fire or I need a pee.
Or he's got to work.
No, even if I got to work, I wouldn't get up at 4:10.
Oh no, but you said before.
I think I would even.
Before 10, I thought you said.
I think I'd even pay extra to get up later if I was catching a flight. I think we did it once when we went. Did we do that when we went to Spain? Did we get up at some ungodly hour?
No.
Did we not? No, good. Excellent.
Looked it all around you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Excellent. Viali says, question, what did you think of the Fantex fans? Have you got the 120s or the 140s? Would be my first question. Because I think if you've got the 120s, I think you're pretty much onto a winner. But the 140s, I don't think are as good. That is the trouble with 140mm fans. 140mm fans always are loud, or at least make a lot of noise. Because the physical size of them, there's not really a lot you can do. I think 120mm is the ideal size for turbulence. 140 I think is a little bit big, but... Oh, Viali's got the 140s. I honestly find them a little bit noisy. Being completely 100% upfront. Whether or not they were worth the money, I don't know. They were $26.99 for a 3-pack. Which, if you think about it, actually isn't too bad. It's less than, what's that, £8 something a fan? Or almost £9 a fan. Yeah, almost £9 a fan. Which isn't horrendous. And they do look nice, I'll say that. And the RPM range is pretty excellent. But I did find them a little bit on the noisy side at the top end. But I guess most people probably won't use them at the top end. They are better than the Thermaltake CT120s, CT140s. Those are definitely louder. They don't move as much air, so those are a similar price point. I'm yet to try the Arctic P14 PSTs, the new version of the P14s. I do want to try those, although their wiring infuriates me massively, where they have the one RGB wire coming out of one side of the fan and the PWM coming out the other side of the fan. That annoys me immensely. I can't tell you how much that annoys me. If Arctic did a magnetic or locked together fan, that would be it, game over, I think, for most other manufacturers. But they refuse to do it. Anyway. So yeah, I find they were fine. Rasher says Lian Li 140 were about £30 each. Yeah, those can be very, very pricey indeed. Where you going, Maisie? Do you want to go out? Don't drink my drink.
Come on, baby.
Old Bob says Arctic and be quiet. Mark Gaines got a super chat. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Much appreciated for your donation. And to make things even better, or to make life even easier, there is a question along with the donation. Question, is it normal for a Ryzen 7 7700X CPU to run at 100% usage? It depends the context and where you're reading the 100% usage to. Because there used to be a weird bug in Windows Task Manager where it would show an idle CPU as being 100% in use, but it wasn't, it was idling. If you're doing things like a Cinebench run, a benchmark, or maybe unzipping some files, potentially you could see 100% CPU usage. In games, I would think probably not, unless they were kind of just locked to a specific core. It's rare that you'll see a multi-core CPU hit 100% because most programs or applications are designed to run multi-threaded. So they will try to use various parts of the CPU rather than just one single core to max out. But I'd say, Mark, it depends where you're getting that reading from, what you're actually doing at the time. If you're doing like a Cinebench, yeah, you would see 99 to 100% pretty much all the way through the run. But again, it depends what it is you're doing. If you want to let us know more about where you're seeing the problem or where you're seeing that, and also what program is causing that, we can try and kind of narrow it down. Irish Outsider says, I thought I told Putty Cat. Yes, you did. There's 6 of them. Have I missed anything else?
Was there any super chats before?
There was actually, yeah. We didn't. Well, let's. We should address that, shouldn't we? There was a super chat a little bit earlier, I believe,
I missed that one.
from our good friend Rick H. Thank you very much, Rick H, for the $5. Much appreciated. It says disco party, disco party. Mixing it up there. Last week it was disco, 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 I think. The week before it was party, party, party. So now you're mixing things up. Good. It's good to see. Excellent stuff. Maisie, put your tail down, please. What's the temperatures like in Australia at the moment? It is 4.6 degrees Celsius and it feels like 3.2. Wow. That's horrendous, isn't it? You always imagine Australia, as well, for people outside of Australia, the things that we see of Australia, obviously, there are the very kind of obvious stereotypical things like your Crocodile Dundees, you've got things like Neighbours, Home and Away, Prisoner, what else is there? Various other things from Australia, which you get a stereotypical idea that it's just lovely all the time. Idyllic scenario. But I guess like other places in the world, it does get rather chilly there as well. John David Sullivan's been a member for 17 months. Says, happy bank holiday for the UK. Thank you very much. Not that I'll be enjoying much of it. I will be working as normal. I rarely get a day off. A proper day off, to be honest with you. I don't know what I'd do if I had a day off. I say this so many times and to so many people. Because my hobby is computers and gaming and like building computers and all that kind of stuff. And my job is gaming, computers and videos and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, where does the job end and where does my hobby begin? It'd be a very interesting thing to do for the taxman. Because when you go to do your taxes, especially here in the UK, there are sections of it where it's kind of like, if you're buying things for yourself, but they're for the business, you have to work out the percentages of like how much business use and how much of your use. But if you can't tell the difference between where your job begins and ends and where your hobby begins and ends, is it 100% tax deductible or is it 100% not tax deductible? Where's the middle line? There really isn't one. It's very difficult. John David Summers says, I'm having a clear out. Well, I hope you pulled a flush after. Rasher says, if you like what you're doing, it's not a job. Well, you try tell the taxman that. The taxman thinks it's definitely a job because he wants tax money from it. I don't like taxes. I hate it. Next year here in the UK, for a lot of self-employed people, such as myself and Kath, we have
I'm
to...
not self-employed. I'm not employed at all.
Kath's technically unemployed. Housewife. We might change that. So, yeah, we have to do this thing called MTD, Making Tax Digital. So you have to do your tax returns on basically like a monthly basis, but you have to post a proper return every quarter, and then you still have to do an end-of-year tax return. So you do your monthly return, you do a quarterly return, and you do a yearly return. So we'll be going from doing one yearly return to doing effectively 5, which is, yeah, a little bit of a pain.
Well, it just means we'll earn less money because we won't have time to make things.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, the government will get less money because we haven't got time. It's ridiculous. Anyway. David Underhill says, people forget we are one of the largest countries. We have areas of snow, desert, tropical jungles and rainforest. Most live in suburban areas near the coast, not in the outback. Where is the colder areas? Would it be the more northern states or territories? I'm imagining it would be. I can't imagine it getting very cold in South Australia because of the position of the... Actually, maybe it would. Maybe North's warmer and South is colder because South would be closer to the South Pole. Would I be right in saying that? So Northern Australia would be warmer than Southern Australia? I don't know. I need a geography lesson. I actually did geography for my GCSEs at school. I learned absolutely nothing apart from a funny word called a dike, which apparently is a geographical thing.
Demonetised.
Demonetised immediately. David Endo says, yeah, coldest areas are southern. Yeah, that seems weird, doesn't it? Because obviously for us in the northern hemisphere, everything further north is colder, and the closer to the equator or the more south we are, the warmer it gets. And of course, Australia being down under technically, it's the opposite, obviously.
Sorry. I'm trying to remember which is the best one for you.
David Under says, I'm cold because of the elevation. Ah, of course, yeah, elevation come into it as well. That, you're doing a thing. Why? I've got nothing on my screen. Or is it someone sent a PayPal? I can't read that. I haven't got eyes that can read these things. I have computer person's eyes. I can. So we had a donation from Nick and Joe. £15. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping out my dopey questions. Issues with new Gen 4 riser cable within a week. So suggestions for ITX case without a riser case. Without a riser, please. ITX case without a riser. That is not an easy one. The majority of ITX cases, especially the modern era, do try to take advantage of using a riser card and using that kind of sandwich box scenario with the divider in the middle. ITX case without a riser. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. Quite often, PCI Express risers, they're not all made equally. I've bought PCI Express Gen 4 risers and Gen 3 risers from Amazon, which have been seemingly reasonably priced, but have actually not been particularly good. And weirdly, I found the best PCI Express risers that I've had, well, there's two. The Thermaltake ones have been absolutely brilliant, but they are stupidly expensive, like insanely expensive. But the Colink ones, surprisingly, from Overclockers UK, the Colink risers have been absolutely brilliant, and they're extremely well made, and they do exactly what they say on the tin in terms of PCI Express bandwidth. So potentially, if you don't necessarily want to change your case style, but you want to have it more reliable, definitely try a different cable. If need be, Nick, I have got a spare PCI Express Gen 4 riser from Colink. I could send it to you and you can try it and see how you get on. Yes, Kath?
Mark Gaines 840.
Mark Gaines 840. Let's have a look. Mark Gaines 840. Beep, 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 beep. In 840. Mark Gaines. Where is it? There we go. Back to some dikes. Ramad 001. Dikes form the protection of the Netherlands. Without them, we would drown here. There you go. See, I learned a thing. Mark Haynes says, Mike, it's showing 100% on my CPU on my son's Lian Hydro Shift AIO screen that he's playing games on Steam. That's an interesting one. I don't know much about the Hydro Shift AIO, and I don't really know much about the display, so I'd have to look into that. But has it got an option for, like, does it cycle through different things, sort of like CPU, RAM, GPU, temps, etc.? Because it could well be either a pump speed, possibly, or it might be, it could just be looking at a single core, depending on what the software is looking at. I'm honestly not too sure. I'm guessing for that, you'd be using the Lian L-Connect 3 software to control that device. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. What you could do, possibly, is do a very short video or take a picture and post it on the Discord. And I'll take a look after the stream, possibly, or even during the stream if I get a chance to. We'll see what what's going on there. I would imagine it's incorrect, although you could just fire up task managers. So if you do Control Shift and Escape, you can fire up Task Manager, go into the Performance tab on the left-hand side, and if you look on that, you'll have CPU, GPU, RAM, etc. And just see if it kind of validates what the software is reading. Viali says he's running at 30%, 900 RPM. Yeah, I think anything underneath about 1200 is fine. Yes, Kath.
H786 at 842.
H7. What time? 8:42.
Yeah.
Why am I not looking at this right now? 8:42. Sorry. Hey, Dave Collins. Oh, hey, there we are. H8 B650i Night Devil. What advice would you give if I want to add more than 2 M.2? Yeah. You're a bit stuck because I'm assuming you'll be using a PCI Express graphics card in there. If you're not using a PCI Express graphics card, then a PCIe NVMe multi-plug adapter, like Lead Farmer says. Those are pretty good. At least there'll be an option for you, but realistically, depending what drives and what speed you want, if you're looking at sort of PCI Express Gen 3 or Gen 4 times 4 drives, you are going to be wanting to use that primary PCI Express slot. The other slot on the board is a PCI Express Gen 3 times 1, so it's going to be very, very slow, almost SATA speeds. So you'd be better off using the SATA drive and using the SATA ports. There isn't really an easy answer to that. It's one of the things, unfortunately, with a lot of modern systems, because the M.2 configuration and also the size of the physical motherboards, there's only so many drives you can put on there. Like, you can put one on the front, one on the back. There is a slot on the back, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Dave. Dave Aitken came round today, had a little visit.
Oh, I'm missing my little friend. And Mike's mooning about all the balls now. I've been saying it's my fault.
Yeah, I blame Kath for all the balls being everywhere. Semmer says, thank you, Mike. The problem is it's a meshlicious case with double reverse 150 cable. Double reverse 150mm cable. I'm not sure what I've got. I'll have a look. We'll have a look at that. Where did I get to? David Underhill says Gen 4 and Gen 5 discussions, yet PCIe Gen 8 is under development. Scary. Yeah, it is. And the thing is we keep on doing this as enthusiasts or business people or just tech users or whatever. It's that constant drive to make money, which actually is making tech worse. Like, you get a PCI Express. I was actually talking to Dave about this a little bit earlier when he came round. When it comes to PCI Express Gen 4 and Gen 5 drives, they're absolute swines to keep cool. Especially if you're someone who actually keeps an eye on temperatures. If you don't, then you'll probably never notice it and you'll be like, yeah, la 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 la, my drive's installed, it's absolutely fine. But if you check your temps, especially if you're transferring files, those drives get so hot, it's unbelievable. So most modern NVMe coolers on motherboards are completely insufficient for the task. They're fine for Gen 3 drives, some older Gen 4 drives, the ones which are basically just a little bit faster. But anything over about sort of 5,000 megabits per second transfer, those drives get so hot, it's incredible. Even the power efficient ones, they really do get quite hot. And you'll often find with your system idling, your PCI Express NVMe is going to be the warmest component between your graphics card and your CPU and your storage, and even your RAM for that matter. It's insane how hot they get, and it kind of, no one's really talking about it. And I think as obviously PCI Express gets faster and the speeds increase, we'll get to the point of like, well, how are we supposed to keep these things cool? It's just nuts. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Rasher there has been a member for 47 months. Thank you very much. He says, time flies when you're having fun. When does that
Oh,
start?
we should do the light, really, shouldn't we?
We should do the light for that.
Sorry, I had it on top chat first thing, so I missed a lot at the beginning. Rasher.
Thanks, Rasher. Solar Holler Soul Blade says, or you can buy heat sinks for NVMe online, but sometimes they're so big. Yeah, I bought a couple, and I've actually bought another 1 or 2 from AliExpress. Some of you saw these last week in the stream. So these are the Thermalright HR10 Pros. They're pretty chunky, but I have done the install on the silver one. I actually had it in the PC behind me for a little while, and it does make a big difference. It really does make a difference. I think I was somewhere in the region of about 20 to 25 degrees cooler, possibly slightly more depending which temperature readings you're taking. Modern drives now have 2 sensors. So there's one sensor for the controller, one sensor for the DRAM or the NAND, and they wildly differ. So depending on how your system reacts to the temperatures, or fans react to temperatures, or the software reacts to it, sometimes you can get dangerously high to the maximum temperatures before the system will automatically thermal throttle because it's looking at the wrong sensors. It's pretty scary stuff. Water cool the drives. I'm pretty sure Thermaltake ages ago did some M.2 coolers for water cooling. I'm sure I saw those. Viali's been a member for 17 months as well. Thank you. Time certainly does fly. Don't forget, if you are a channel member, you can use one of the perks of being is you can send a super chat, such as these, like
A super
what do they call it? A super sticker, I think it is. Yeah.
A super sticker, is it? It's there's another name for it.
But thank you very much for supporting the channel and helping what we do here, even though what we do is nuts. It really is, and it's very frustrating. I've spent today, I basically built, or I'm building 2 systems. I've done one. So the Techware Timber, which we took a look at, was that last week? Did we take a look at the Timber? I'm losing track. I'm pretty sure it was last week we looked at the Techware Timber. And I actually did a build in that today. I had some bits which I kind of wanted to get rid of or move on because they've been sticking around and cases are big. So I thought, right, I'll just put together a PC. So in the Techware Timber, I'll try and do a video on it. But I used the Techware Timber, the ASRock B550 Pro 4, a Ryzen 9 3900X, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 2 terabyte NVMe, RTX 3060 12 gigabytes, and a 650 watt gold rated power supply from Cooler Master, fully modular, and it's turned out nice. I've got to say it's turned out nice. There is a few quirks with the build in that case which I didn't notice to begin with, but when you do a build in a case, that is when it all becomes a little bit more evident. Putting a radiator in the top, no, not a chance in hell. And actually getting the PCI Express, or sorry, the EPS cables from your power supply into the motherboard was very difficult indeed. It took at least 4 attempts. Luckily, one of the cables I could split into the 4x4 rather than the solid 8-pin, but the solid 8-pin did need wedging in there. And Dave was here when I was doing it, so he was there. He can validate exactly, like I was there cussing because I couldn't get the thing through. I was like, I'm not taking the motherboard out just to put that power supply in. There's not a chance in hell. So, graunched it in. Old Bob says, do users of 2 terabyte NVMe's partition the drive? Curious, because if you have games etc on the same drive and you need to reinstall Windows for whatever reason, you lose everything if not partitioned. I generally tend to not, but that's because I normally have multiple drives. In my streaming PC, which I do wipe frequently, I have got a 2 terabyte drive in there, and I have got my games and Windows all on the same drive. But I am kind of subconsciously aware that if I mess anything up, then I've got to reinstall the lot. On my video editing PC, I've got 3 drives in there. So I've got 1 terabyte for Windows, 2 terabytes for games, and another 1 terabyte for video footage. So just because video footage is like really hard to recreate sometimes, or time consuming, and games is kind of like, there's quite a lot of games on there. and Windows obviously being Windows. So I do like to have the 3 drives set up. Years ago, I used to do the same thing. So if I had like a 250 gig hard disk drive, I'd partition it for like maybe 50 gigs for Windows, maybe 150 gigs for video games, and then like another 50 gig partition for like photos or videos or just other stuff, data possibly. So yeah, I generally tend to do 2 or 3 partitions, or 2 or 3 drives generally, or yeah, ideally partitions. But the thing is, with modern NVMe drives, the chances of the drive failing as a whole, or basically becoming unusable or unreadable, are relatively high, at least compared with mechanical drives. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Like partitioning your drive to save the data, the chances are if you can't access the drive, you can't access the drive no matter what partition it is. So yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. Generally, I'm in a fortunate position because I've got the Synology NAS, so I use the Synology Active Backup, and every day it takes a snapshot of every PC and stores it for like 10 to 15 days, depending how often the PC is used. So if anything should happen, at least I can get another drive and just bang, just clone it all back over, and we're basically exactly where we were previously. I know not everybody's in that position, but certainly at the moment, drives are really cheap, and software like multidrive.io, Disk Genius, Macrium, Hasleo, etc. There's loads of different pieces of software out there for doing disk copying, cloning, backups, etc. Realistically, if you are concerned, do a backup. Backup your data. It takes a very small time to do, and once you get into the habit of doing it, you can't live without it, and you realise like how important it is. Anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Irish Outsider says AME backupper. Yeah, that's another option. Yeah, you're better off really having a boot drive and others for storage, because the chances of the drive physically failing is relatively low. The chances of the drive partition becoming corrupted and not being able to boot into Windows, that's a lot higher. So if you do have all of your eggs in the one basket or one partition, it's easier to recover Windows than what it is to recover an entire drive and all your data. So yeah, maybe if you've got a 2 terabyte drive, maybe make a sort of, maybe, I don't know, 500 gig primary partition for Windows, or maybe less than that, depending on what size your Windows drive normally gets to. I use Adobe Premiere, so that puts a load of files on the C drive as well and expands it, and there's Microsoft Office and Outlook and stuff like that, so it does get to some kind of bloated extent, but I don't think mine is probably more than about 250 gigs maybe. Skystalker, hello. Here for a good time, not a long time. Excellent, good to see you. So yeah, I think there's obviously there's not a right way and a wrong way of setting up your data or your drives. It's down to you and what works for you and what backup solutions, whether you care about if anything happens to it. Again, I'm in a relatively fortunate position that if anything on my system breaks, it's an excellent opportunity to make a video. So I'm not as concerned as I could be, or should be possibly, but I do have backups in place. So, and I have data in various locations as well. So yeah, data wise, I feel moderately protected. Not 100%, but I'm certainly a big section of the pie chart. Lead Farmer says I make an image of a 512 SSD monthly to hard disk drive.
You went down on the pie chart for not putting honey in my
I did.
coffee alternative.
Roderick says I have one 2 terabyte NVMe, one 1 terabyte, and a 512 in a caddy with Windows and a few programs on for emergencies. Cool. Oh, got a bit of ingestion. Old Man Withers is with us. How you doing, Old Man Withers? Good to see you. Buffering? Are we buffering? Oh dear.
I was slightly, but I stopped. nearly as soon as it started.
Matthew Day says, and you back up to a NAS? Is that to me? I do, yeah. I back up all my stuff to a NAS. Which isn't really a backup, but it's somewhere. President had a question. I can't see it. Oh, there we go. President. My NVMe write speed has dropped a lot, while read speed is fine. The drive is in the correct M.21 slot. And I still have 96 gig free space. Do you know why this happens? Well, 96 gigs of free space isn't a lot. Although it depends on the size of the drive. I would generally never try to run a NVMe drive at 50% more, 50% or more. I always try to keep my drive 50% or less, just so that it's got breathing room and also it can do its own sort of internal trimming, block management and all that kind of stuff. If you put a lot of data onto a drive, it suffers and it will struggle. And especially if you think, like most drives, depending what drive you've got, if it doesn't have a DRAM cache built in, it will use a large section of the drive as a kind of QSLC cache or quasi cache. So it's kind of allocating a little bit of that spare space, which you think is spare, for actually buffering files. So again, depending on your system, you may be hitting into that. If you do a test on your drive with maybe Crystal Disk, just keep an eye on it and see what the transfer speeds are like and see when they start dropping down. That'll be a telltale sign. Also keep an eye on thermals.
Black SM7100 1TB.
So yeah, if it's a black SN7100 1TB, I would keep an eye on the temperatures. If it hasn't got a decent cooler on it, then it could be the fact it's just thermal throttling, because writing makes a drive hotter than reading, because reading is very easy to do, but writing is more strenuous for the drive. So you potentially could have that. Also make sure that you've got the latest chipset drivers for your motherboard. That is going to be beneficial because that will update the kind of, what do they call those drivers? Can't think what they're called, but there's a driver for the M.2s. Super chat there from Rasher. What's Rasher saying now? Got arrested for stealing Engelbert Humperdinck records, but the police released me. Let me go. Do, do, do. Sorry. Can't help but do that. Thank you, Rasher. President Tio says, thank you so much for your time. It is not a problem. If you want to, you can join our Discord, which is completely free of charge to join. And if you want to ask any further questions or just post pictures of your screenshots so we can see what temps you're getting, we can validate what's going on, you're more than welcome to use that if you wish.
Jamie, at some point, I think it's 8:58.
8:58, Jamie. Lots of questions tonight. We'll do like this. Hi Mike, have you seen those Foyfkin M1 PC cakes on Amazon? They are pretty cheap. Yes. I have seen them. I think with that brand and also the Pissy or Pissy or whatever they're called, PCZZOI. Those rendered images, I don't think do the products justice. So I'm a little bit hesitant. And also, I haven't seen that other brand, which I can't pronounce, the Fofkin. I haven't seen those at particularly keen pricing. Now, do remember, my job basically, and also my hobby, is deal hunting. So it's got to be really, really cheap for it to be a deal.
Unless it's chocolate.
Unless it's chocolate, in which case I'll make some sacrifices. Dave Dakin actually found the CIT, can't think what the name of the case was, the CIT something or other over at AWDIT, I believe it was, for $24.99, including postage, which seems mad for a little micro ATX case. That's like 25, 30, 35, 40 quid is awesome. That's what we want.
Oxford says.
Eh?
Oxford says, let's start.
We should do, really.
Is it time for bed yet?
It is. I feel a bit tired out.
Hello.
Aletta says, who is Engelbert Humperdinck? Wow. Google it. He's very famous.
I there till a few years back.
Right then. Yeah, let's have a look and see what's going on. I wonder if this is charged yet. I wish I could tell how much charge is actually in this mouse. Well, actually, I can't I? I think. What's the keychron thing? Launcher.keychron? I always forget this. Launcher.keychron.com. Connect. Keychron wants to connect to a HID device. Oh, of course it won't do it over Bluetooth, will it? Oh, we'll cancel that then.
I ain't buttering no parsnips.
That is not going to butter any parsnips. Right, let's have a look at this PC we got to put together. Now, actually, in full disclosure, I have to make a very big and bad omission. So, from the video description, I am supposed to be building a PC. Unfortunately, due to me being me, I actually made a little bit of a snafu, and I looked at my CPU cooler and realised it's not what I thought it was. So I'm going to be able to put most of this together, but I'm not going to be able to do the CPU cooler. So I might just put another one in temporarily, just so we can fire it up to see if it works. It was supposed to be a Thermalright Aqua Elite V3 360mm, but the one that I've actually got, oh, flames scrolling. Oh God. I looked up on the shelf and I thought, I kept on looking at it. I was thinking, that's all right, I've got that ready for the stream. Obviously, completely colourblind, I didn't think twice that this is the white version, which would look absolutely stupid in that case. So, I'm not going to install the white one, because this is basically brand spanking new, so I don't want to put that in there. So I have ordered another AIO, but that isn't going to be with us until tomorrow, unfortunately. So we'll do what I can. I've got a normal, just a standalone stock cooler pretty much, which I can put in there. So we can get most of it done, but I won't be able to show you the full finished product, unfortunately, in this particular stream. So, there you go. There's Alejandro. How you doing? Did you order the V3 or V6? Well, actually, I bought neither. Let me have a look, see which one I got. I got there's another one, which I've been meaning to try. Which I thought, well, seeing as I've missed the boat anyway, I might as well just get something different altogether, which I think is going to go better with the case. Because we're building in the Lian 207 digital, which is quite a refined looking case. And I think this might be a little bit too much bling for it. So I've actually gone with, if I can find it, the Thermalright Frozen Edge 360 in black, which is £44.90. Let me get that up on the screen so you can see it, and so I can see it in bigger things. Where are we? Yeah, Amazon UK. Has anyone else noticed when you go to the Thermalright site in the UK or anywhere outside of their normal region, it plays this weird boom, 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 boom? I don't know what it is.
You had some weird noises coming at your PC when you were in the game as well.
Did I?
Yeah.
What sort of weird noises?
Like notifications or something, but weird. What's that from?
I have no idea. Right, so there we go. Stream desktop, there we go. So that is the Thermalright Frozen Edge 360. So we've got a little bit of discrete RGB around the edge of the pump, which you can turn off if you wanted to. But I do like the look of these fans. They look like they've got a really strong motor. So we should have some decent static pressure there. And there's another angle of it. So nice looking fans. And there it is, actually in a case not entirely dissimilar to what ours is going to be. So I think it's going to be nice to have a little bit of discrete RGB lighting, but not too much. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty badass.
Dutch John don't like it. He says it's the wrong case.
It's the wrong case?
Because he doesn't like it.
Okay. It's a great case. But yeah, I think that cooler is going to work out nice. It's going to be quite quite discreet. Sky says, I've used that version. Well, the same pump and rad, just with RGB fans. Yeah, that's the thing. I think if need be, like, I've got a ton of RGB fans here if I actually need them. So I can quite easily just swap the fans out should I need to. But I kind of like the simplicity of this version. But we'll see. So anyway, let's take a look at the parts and we could get started and put some of this stuff together.
Do it, do it.
Right, let's start with the motherboard, which I think I've actually put most of the stuff actually inside there already. Hey, Otis. God, it's getting hot in here.
Yes, it is. I've got video and I'm freezing.
It's boiling.
I'm right next to the window.
Yeah, I know, that's the trouble. You should sat over here.
I know I was, and you decided to move me over here.
So, this was an absolute bargain. This is the Sapphire Pulse RX 6700 XT. Managed to pick this up off of eBay. At the moment, now this is great. Okay, so we've got our bot, which works in our Discord, which gives you all the links to basically items which are coming up cheap. So let's give you a link for the Discord there, if you want to join. Also, every now and then, eBay have offers on. So there's certain discounts that can be had on certain products. This, I'm not sure if it was actually covered by that. I don't think it was. Dave Aitken actually bought a motherboard, which we were both looking at, and it was £100, and there was a £20 offer voucher for a MSI B850 Pro-P, I think it was, P Wi-Fi. Yeah, so he snagged that. I've got it here for review, so don't worry. I still have it in some respects. But yeah, this was fantastic value. The 6700 XT, normally, most of the time, you can pick these up on the used market for somewhere in the region of about £200 to £250, depending on the model, etc., etc. This one, I actually managed to snag for, I think it was £175, which, yeah, is incredible value for money. At at the 200 plus mark, like 230, 250, you could get an Intel B580, which would be in a very similar sort of ballpark performance-wise in general. Although this has arguably more stable drivers and more kind of overall experience, where pretty much everything's going to be the same. Whereas with the Intel Arc, some things are a little bit better, some things are a little bit worse, some things don't work at all. So yeah, I think this was a pretty decent choice. The Pulse cards, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the Pulse cards, and this one has got nice big fans on there. It's only a dual fan model, but that's absolutely fine. In terms of power requirements, it's got an 8-pin plus a 6-pin. I'm not too sure. There's a couple of different versions of the 6700 XT. There's some which have a TDP of like 189 watts, and there's some which have a TDP of 230 watts. Now, actually on Sapphire's site, this is coming up as a 230 watt model. But I did some very brief testing, although I did use pigtail cables, so potentially that might be limiting my wattage. But this was running 3D Mark, Time Spy, and it was only hitting about 178 watts. So I don't know whether this is actually a 189 or not. I honestly don't know. Thanks for stopping by, Irish Outsider. Have some Guinness. Enjoy. So yeah, I think this was a cracking deal. And
2 Forters with 10 minutes to go on VHF eBay.
All right, excellent. I do like a bargain. 4060. How much are they going for? Didn't say. Anyway, so yeah, about £175 I paid for this. So yeah, I was pretty happy. And also, it turned out that the seller was actually in Weston-super-Mare, and I paid, I think, £4.20 or whatever it was, nice, for the postage. And the doorbell went, and he basically handed it over and said, "Oh, it's definitely safer. You're a bit more local, so you must have been passing through." And yeah, decided to hand it over. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. I'm not sure if it's been opened previously. It hasn't got one of those stickers over the back plate there, so I might have to take this apart and give it a good pasting. But temperature wise,
Glazed in.
yeah, temperature wise, it seems absolutely fine. So pretty happy with that. It's a pretty quiet card as well. So that ticks a lot of boxes for me. And talking of boxes, it did come in a box, although it hasn't got the box innards, which is unfortunate. But realistically, most people just throw them in the trash anyway when I try and give them. So
We're not American.
well, bother. We are almost
In the bin.
in the bin, not the trash.
12.59.
Mike, any thoughts on the XFX magnetic air GPUs? It seems like a good idea. The fact that you can replace out the fans very easily, that's always a good thing. It makes you wonder though if they've considered that the fans fail regularly, in which case that's why they have to do it. I don't know. It's a good idea. Ramad001 says RX 6700 XT Red Devil 203 watts. Yeah, not too sure what mine. I will double check it and I'll put some proper loads on it as well. Right, motherboard wise, tried and tested favourite MSI's B650 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. This was a great deal from. I think this was from Kev2427. If you're watching, let us know.
Earlier.
I think it was earlier, yeah. Also, got some Kingston Fury RAM. This was a great deal as well. I picked this up on eBay. This was a weird one. Someone's uncle or relative had died, and they had like a little PC repair shop, and they were basically selling off all the stuff in the PC shop at ridiculous prices. So I think I picked up the Kingston Fury RAM for about £55, I want to say. It was between 50 and 60, somewhere around that mark. But yeah, £60 for DDR5 CL30, 6,000 mega transfers. I think that was right. Yeah, CL30, 32 gigs, yeah, 6,000 mega transfers. So yeah, proper decent RAM for Ryzen. Although, I might not use that. I'm sure I put some other RAM to one side for this particular purpose. Yes. I'm thinking I might just put the Orico RAM in there instead. Reason being is because I've got two sets of this and I want to do some testing for 4-channel RAM, which I've already started doing, but it hasn't been working very well, so it kind of put me off a little bit. So I might go with the Orico instead. And keep all that. Yeah, I'm going to keep all that stuff. I'll put that back up on the wall.
Did you move that Ryzen I put up there?
Yes.
You've done that.
Yeah. Got me antennas in there. Yeah, this must be from Kev. I'm sure he sellotaped those onto the bit of foam. In terms of our physical storage, going with Orico again. These are really good value for money drives. This is the Orico IG740 Pros. Good all-round drives. Essentially, they're just using the same components as everybody else, but they're just rebranding it like pretty much everybody else. So there's only maybe 2, possibly 3 manufacturers of drive controllers on the market. I think Samsung do their own. And then you've got the Scion, or Fizzon, however you want to say it. There's a, what's the other brand? I can't think of the other brand. Oh God, it's gone. No, can't think. There's another brand. I think there's like a Muztec or something, and there's maybe one other as well. But there's a couple of drive controllers on the market. Not a massive amount of them, but generally they all tend to use the same ones. And when it comes to the actual RAM or the NAND flash, again, there's not many options out there. You've got like SK Hynix, which is the most prominent one. You've got Samsung, which for Samsung drives. You've got the Crucial branded stuff, which is, I can't think what the Crucial branded stuff is called now. But anyway, you get the general idea. It's kind of like, yes, it isn't a branded drive as such, but it's used in basically the same components as branded drives anyway. So I'm pretty sure all of Orico's or Orico stuff is all SK Hynix. I don't know. Orinoco Flow. Sail away, sail away. Orinoco Flow. Sometimes, Catherine, I do wonder what I put in your coffee.
No honey.
No honey, clearly. Crucial is Micron. Thank you, Micron. Yes, that's it. David Owens says, yeah, RAM, SK Hynix, Samsung, Micron. That was the one I was thinking, Micron. Why could I not remember Micron? Thank you. Thank you, chat.
Got candy floss.
Oh, that's probably George.
Yes, it's vape. Right, let's go to the overhead camera. And I'm probably going to... Actually, yeah, we'll need a bit of light on that, I think. Man, I've got to get a new chair. It's giving me a sweaty ass. Sorry about that, chat. Actually, did I leave a sweat mark on the chair? No, I didn't. No, it's all good. There is something wrong with me. Okie dokie.
Before your overhead camera catches it.
Right, CPU we've already got installed. Ryzen 7 7700. These CPUs are awesome. They are currently also on sale at AliExpress currently, and they are insanely cheap. I'm pretty sure I paid roughly about 120 quid for one the other day. This one was probably a bit more expensive, about 140 I think when I bought it, but still, it's still about £100 cheaper roughly than what you can buy them actually on like your place like your Amazons and eBuyer. Like you can't buy eBuyer, but you know what I mean. Hey Glenn, how you doing?
Glenn's of the case game.
There, excellent.
And he likes.
Good stuff.
That was ages ago.
Thank you, Glenn, for letting us know the case arrived.
That's
Happy
an hour
days.
ago, but get rid of him.
Yeah. Right, what shall I start with? Let's do the NVMe. That would make a lot of sense.
Who's that?
CPU is a Ryzen 7 7700, which, yeah, I've got a real soft spot for these. The 7700 to me is like the 3600 and the 5600. It's that kind of perfect balance of performance and price, but obviously the performance is considerably better than those previous two. Look at that, still got the tape on it. Excellente. I have actually ordered 3 1TB drives from Overclockers, but there was a deal on for those as well, which we posted on the Discord. They're 35 quid each for the 1TB drives, but they were on some sort of weird back order thing, so we are waiting on those. No doubt they'll turn up around about Christmas, or they'll turn around and say, sorry, we can't fulfill your order, bastards. Right, I need a knife because I have to trim off some of that heatsink, because I still don't understand why they do that. They make that heatsink pad so large when, I've said this before, but like the drive ends there, so why have the pad there? Makes no sense. Sod it, I'm not going to trim it, I can't be arsed, I'm just going to leave it.
Why would you need to trim it though? What difference does it make?
Well, because
Doesn't it travel along and have more cooling space then?
I don't think it does.
Don't when you cut them off.
No, when you cut it off, it definitely doesn't.
You know that much.
In fact, I don't know if this cooler is going to be quite man enough for this drive. So I might end up taking this out and putting something else in, another cooler. Because I'm guessing this drive's going to get to about 80-90C with that tiny little pissant cooler.
600 by 400 desk pads are available again.
Technically stable. Alright. You just had an email.
Well, at some point.
Desk pads are back in stock at technically stable.
400 by 600.
The 400 by 600s, which I don't know why anyone would buy them. That's a really small size.
What, like this?
Yeah, that's probably not far off it. Right, let's put some RAM in. Ram it in. So for this, we're going to be using the Orico Raceline Neon RGB 5 32 gig kit, 64 mega transfers per second, which, yeah, it's pretty decent stuff.
You can stay there.
We doing making a drink? No. We have a thing.
Put the other light on.
A super chat. Who's that from? Mark Gaines, £10. Thank you very much. Is there a message with that? I can't see one, is there? Right, £10 from Mark Gaines there. Thank you very much via PayPal. I checked the task manager. CPU usage is 27% and the temperature is 60 degrees. So it's a software problem, I'm guessing. It does sound that way, Mark, yeah. That's why it's always a good idea to kind of double check your results. If you're getting slightly unusual results, validate them and verify them in other software or some other means. Because you could end up like chasing your tail looking for a problem which actually doesn't really exist. Orico Raceline Neo, this is nice stuff, and actually it comes with the little plastic covers to keep the slots clean. Actually, funny story, this happened again recently, today in fact, and I have Dave Aitken as a witness to this. So in the other computer which I built today, there was, oh that's running the wrong way, I was doing a 4 sticks of RAM setup, which for most systems can be a little bit problematic. And I started installing Windows, it was installing, then I'd get blue screens, and then it would say like you can't boot, weird stuff happening. So I was like, this ain't quite right. So I reduced the speed from 3200 down to 3000, thinking maybe I'm pushing the memory controller. Didn't change it. So I thought, right, I'll just try 16 gigs of RAM. Absolutely fine, no problems. Installed the rest of Windows, it was running great. I was chatting to Dave about it and said, this other stick here, just don't want to run. And he said, well, when I had that board, I actually ran it in 4-channel with 4 32 gig sticks. So it should do it easily. So I was like, I wonder. So I grabbed the other 2 sticks of RAM and literally did the lick test. So I just licked the gold contacts.
Oh, so my suggestion worked?
Both sides. Do that a couple of times. And there is a reason for it. Because the acidity in your saliva, or the alkalinity, whichever it is, I never remember, is generally enough to break down some of the debris or kind of build up on the gold contacts, because they do tend to corrode and they do get dirty from handling, etc, etc. So I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose, so I did that, both sticks, put them both in, turned the PC on, it worked first time and carried on working after numerous reboots. And the weird thing was, that stick of RAM, I tried them on their own before I licked them, and the weirdest thing happened was it would boot, but it didn't feel right, and also the Wi-Fi would stop working, which is weird because
I made you all a drink.
I had a Wi-Fi card in the bottom slot, and it's got 3 LEDs on it to say the signal strength. With one set of RAM in there, the LEDs were off entirely. You went into the wireless and it said it couldn't find any wireless networks. Swap the RAM back, absolutely fine. So there's definitely something a bit screwy with that RAM. So give it a good lick, put it back in, Wi-Fi started working, and it worked at the full speed. So yeah, if you're getting problems with your RAM, I know it sounds stupid, we have done it on a stream before, lick your RAM and potentially it can fix your problems. Yes, Kath?
PTR 922. Highlight.
920 when?
922.
922. Let's have a look. Timestamp 922. What name was it?
Oh, I don't know. PR something. No?
PR. 922. Look at 922.
PTR.
PTR. There we go. Mike, do you know anything about Thermalright power supplies? That is also a very good question, because I've just ordered some of those from AliExpress with their back to school offers on at the moment. There was, I think it was £5 or £10 off. So I've got to try and read it off here. It was the Thermalright TR850 watt PSU. There's other model names, but I didn't write it all down, obviously. But yeah, 850 watt, fully modular, gold rated power supply. I think that was £57. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what those are like. Because if those turn out to be like banging, not as in you plug them in and they go bang, but banging as in like great value for money, for £57 or thereabouts, even their full price 62 I think it was, like 850 watt power supply with PCI Express Gen 5.1 and ATX 3.1, fully modular, like come on, that's amazing. So we will definitely be buying more of those, but I want to see what they're like, see how noisy they are. Noisy PSUs have been the bane of my existence recently. There we go, Dave sent a super chat, thanks Dave, and he says, yes, can confirm The RAM licking worked. Isopropyl salival. Salival. That is Bristolian if I ever said it.
All confused.
Pro tip, don't lick your PSU. No, don't do that. Lead Farmer says I do the KFC Kingston Finger Challenge. Good one. Oxbod says everyone said AMD is Intel that bad. I'm not too sure what you're asking there. Europa Empire of Roma. Where the sell that? That is the AliExpress. So just AliExpress. Thermalright have got their own AliExpress store. So just go to aliexpress.com, or if you go to our Discord, there's loads of links for AliExpress.
Or in this video description, there's some.
Yeah, actually, in this video description, there is going to be some for AliExpress anyway. So just click on one of those links, and then when that page opens, then just type in what you want. And yeah, AliExpress is pretty good. I've got to say, we are affiliated, so we do get a very, very small commission. Although half the time they don't pay out the commission anyway. So yeah, that's another story altogether.
786, 929.
Thermalright.
No, above.
Oh. So I found out the 850 it does not come with three 8-pin cables. So if your GPU requires that, what should we do? This is verified from a YouTube channel that reviewed this. I don't know. If you need three 8-pins, then you probably don't want to be cheaping out on a power supply. In fairness, there's not that many GPUs that I know of that need three 8-pins. Probably something like a 3080 Ti or something, maybe 3090, 6900, 6950, that sort of thing. You can get an adapter, so you can convert Molex, you can convert Molex plugs to PCIe 8-pin. You can get those. They're not that bad actually, because Molex cables can actually carry an absolute ton of voltage and current. So you could do that. Just get a very cheap adapter. That will do the job. Just use your Molexes on the other rail. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out. Be good. I'm looking forward to it. I am actually looking forward to it. Righty-ho, so that is, I think that's everything on the board that we need thus far. Excuse our son, he is in the ice making machine. Actually, I could do with a nice cold drink.
I've got a rusty can of Coke in the fridge.
Let's have a rusty can of Coke.
Let's share it.
Yay. We're going to share a rusty can of Coke. Just like George Michael did. Down in... Where did he share it?
Sorry?
Down in Mexico.
Yeah. George wants to share it as well.
I wonder what George Michael was really doing in Mexico.
That's so tight, isn't it?
What's that?
We have a can of Coke like once.
We have a can of Coke once in a year. If we're lucky. Maybe two.
And then George wants to share some of ours.
You greedy bastard. Power supply, we are going with Thermaltake, not Thermalright, Thermaltake Tough Power GT850 watts, fully modular power supply system. I have got an RGB version of this, which is also 850. 850 is probably a little bit of overkill for this system, but at least it's going to give it a little bit of headroom should there be any potential upgrades. And being that it's a relatively modern platform, I could quite easily see this system being upgraded in the future, either with a PCI Express Gen 5 or just a more beefy graphics card. So yeah, we'll stick this in and see how it goes. I probably won't use those if the Thermalright ones come in at such a good price that it's kind of like, well, what do you do? Now the thing is as well with the Thermalright ones, you have to bear in mind they do come with a warranty, but how that works with AliExpress, I honestly don't know. So that is something which we are gonna, I can't believe we're sharing a can of Coke in two glasses.
Civilized.
A thing's gotten that bad. You can pour.
Go ahead on that.
Look at that. Coca-Cola. Symbol of freedom.
I reckon that's about half, isn't it?
Or has mine got less head than yours?
Who cares? Coca-Cola. I haven't had this in ages. Oh, fizzy. I remember very distinctly then, I got a flashback to being a kid. And I used to get Coca-Cola and then put some sugar in to make it fizz. How I managed to survive the 80s, I'd never know. Oh, there's a monkey down there. Right, let's get the case. Shut up, monkey. I think I'd quite like to go to Mexico. To be fair, I'd like to go anywhere really. Where did your heart go? Did you leave it something or other? Something else, la 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 la. Down in Mexico. Oh dear, it's been a long day. It has actually been a long day, considering this is a bank holiday weekend. I've worked harder the last couple of days than I have in ages. Stinks, doesn't it? You smell it?
Ew.
It smells like aftershave, doesn't it?
It smells horrible.
I bathed this case in Creed.
What?
Creed.
What's that?
It's an aftershave.
Ew.
But I didn't have Creed for real. It was just like the spray version. Remember that can I had? That little grey can
Why would you
from
do that?
Motor Parts ages ago. Probably about 6 years, but because we have cats and smoking and vaping in the house, I try to keep the cases as odour free as possible. If I can't keep it as odour free as possible, then I put a load of cover up in it to make it smell slightly more fragrant,
Rank.
let's say. Yeah. Well, rank to us, but to other human beings, some people quite like it. I don't mind it, to be fair. Oh, look at that. I had this ready to send out to someone. Because I put foam in there to stop all the bits and pieces rattling around. Actually, I should say this before I start building it. I didn't promise this to anybody, did I? If I did, I do apologise. Brute 33. Wrong case, Mike. Display at the bottom, AIO on the top. Nah, this is the way. This is the one. This is the bad boy. I actually really do like this case. It's a cracking design, and I don't know why really I changed, other than the fact that the Vector 100 just looks so damn nice. That I was like, okay. Also, this thing is a bit of a dust magnet, and the V100, the Vector V100, for those of you that are wondering, is a really, really good case. I really do like it. And surprisingly, its dust filtration is...
Now, is it?
Yeah.
The
So
Lincoln's so sad to see that go. Looks good with your 4080, very slick.
it did, yeah. It did look the balls, this thing, but yeah, it did manage to pick up a bit more dust than I would have liked it to. I think in the right surroundings, this would be amazing. The LCD, obviously, LCD panel on the front, so that's really nice, giving you all your stats and stuff like that, which is yeah, pretty damn cool. I like that. It's yeah, it's just a nice case. It's nice and easy to work in. The layout's excellent. Cable management's a breeze. There's not really much to dislike about this case, so I yeah, if you are considering getting one, I really would. And if you don't want the digital version, which some people don't, they just want fans, just the standard 207 is basically the same, just with RGB fans. and no panel at the front, and a little bit cheaper as well. So yeah, some people might prefer that. Skystalker says, I really like the look of that case. It is a cracker. It's, yeah, there's very little to dislike about it. Once it's all built and done, it just, yeah, it is a stunning case. And the airflow is just incredible. Even the hottest of components are pretty simple to keep cool in this configuration.
Jan?
Dutch Jan.
Hey, Mike.
Are you saying I'm crazy? Is that Dutch Jan? Rem Mad?
Yeah,
Ah.
I think so.
Hey Mike, are you saying I'm crazy? I don't know. How did I say that? When did I say that? Jamie says Mike's voice is like a cat on a hot roof. Oh, for singing. Thanks. I was wondering this, like, fuck you. Then I realised, yeah, of course, singing. My bad. Yeah, that's totally justified.
Oh, he's got 6 cats to learn from.
Yeah. And also a road full of bloody foxes, which howl their asses off.
Literally.
Yeah. Right, so let's go to the overhead. And as per usual, I've left the screws in, which is nice. Yeah, so the Game Max.
Jan said wrong gaze.
Oh, you said wrong case. Oh, no, it's fine. It's you don't have to like it. I like it because it ticks a lot of boxes. The only thing I would say is it is a little bit on the expensive side, especially if you don't make full use of the LCD on the front.
Can you get that case in white?
I don't think so at the moment. I think you can with the 207, but not the 207 digital, because I'm guessing because the digital screen, the actual the manufacturing of the front panel would be hard to do or difficult.
I got tired of black boxes. I bought the Thermaltake Tower 300 in Bumblebee yellow.
Oh, nice one, Dave. Yeah, the Tower 300 in Bumblebee is awesome. And there's Scott. Hi, Scott. How you doing? Good to see you. Dutch Jan, I'm not going to say you're crazy. I think you know you're crazy deep down.
We all are.
We're all a little bit crazy, just like Seal said. He was a bit ahead of his time, wasn't he, I think? What a great tune that was.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh,
Right, let's lower the board in. Careful as she goes, and try not to drop it. That feels about wrong. Am I resting on something there? Nope. Oh, there we go. That feels better. There we go. Locked into place. There's a little location lug in the middle, so once you you get to that bit, you know you're in good. Where did I put my screwing driver? There he is.
Rasher's joke, I didn't get it. Can
Rasher's joke.
you explain it?
Where's Rasher's joke? I can't even see it. How far up is it? Where's Rasher's joke?
Oh god, I don't know. It's gone now. As soon as I saw my wife,
What timestamp?
9:41.
9:41.
It's got a massive number 1 on it.
Oh yeah. As soon as I saw my wife in gloves and a green jersey, I knew she was a keeper.
Oh, because of football.
Yeah.
I got it now, only because an advert came on with a football match.
That's a good one.
Otherwise I wouldn't have ever got that. Do they wear green, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, traditionally a goalkeeper's jersey is green.
I've only ever heard it about people, beekeepers' outfits.
Lead Farmer says, my wife had 30 adult positions shirt at bus stop. 33 years. I don't get that. But it sounds ominous. Dave says, my wife made me build her a little ITX system in the Tower 100, racing green first. When I saw the quality and the filtration, etc., I started looking at their stuff. Yeah, to be fair, Thermaltake cases, in general, they're all really good. They do a few which are a little bit quirky, but I suppose they know their market. And what we have to remember as well, that Thermaltake and a lot of the other brands, Thermalright, Corsair, etc., Height, they know their markets and they know who it is they're actually trying to sell to. So like a case which, or a design which we look at and we don't like, don't forget they are aiming at a massive market in China, in like Asia. So just because we don't like it, or I don't like it, or you don't like it, doesn't mean that there's an absolute ton of people out there who are absolutely loving it. Now that may not be the case, but I think that is what they're aiming at, or at least what they're trying to hint at. Dave Under says soccer is a joke in general. Professional soccer is a joke. I think normal
Soccer or football?
Football is soccer is football. If you say football in America, it's American football, or Aussie rules football. So
know,
soccer, everyone knows.
I don't know if you're talking about American football now because you're saying that.
Yeah. Professional soccer is rubbish. Grassroots stuff is ace. Soccer is football. Righty ho. That bit's done. So while we're in this position, let's chuck a cooler in here just so we can fire it up. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to not trap myself into the usual mistake of sticking things in when I shouldn't be. I'm going to put in the power supply next, because the power supply is a slightly unusual one in here, because it's mounted actually at the front rather than at the back, which is excellent for airflow and for cable management, etc. But it's a bit of a pain at first, because you're kind of like, oh, where's the power supply go? Well, it goes in there, in that little hole. Let's get our power supply, which is, for this instance, going to be the Thermaltake GT850, which is one of Thermaltake's more budget-orientated power supplies, part of the G range. So the GT is like the value version. You've got the GFA series, which is their kind of mid to high end, and then you've got the GF and the PF range and the TF range, which are the top tier. The PF, GF being gold, PF being platinum, and TF being the titanium. There you go, you've learned things today. You probably didn't want to, but you've learned them anyway. Now, power supply wise with this particular unit, we can mount it either face up or face down. I'm actually tempted to mount it face up, even though I don't think there is the appropriate mounting holes for it. But do what?
Is that something you told it? Is that the AliExpress one? I don't know.
I don't know. What was it? I didn't really hear what you said.
I didn't find 3.1.
Oh.
They don't sell it yet.
Okay, 3.1. What was that for?
It might be nothing to do with you. I just wondered.
Oh. Right, there's the power supply kind of in. So now we have to flip it round and actually attach the screws on the other side, in which case I'm going to go back to the main camera view so we can check this out a little bit better. I've got a feeling with this as well, I can only put one physical screw in to actually hold it in place, but I won't tell if no one else will. We'll see. Where have we got things matching up? So yeah, I don't think we've got any holes matching up anywhere. Nope.
That's genius. The connectors are on that PSU or on the side.
They're not. They're actually on the back still. But the same sort of thing applies. I do need to do some sort of 3D printed bracket for this to kind of hold it in place, because it's not really meant to be done this way round. As you can see, that screw has just gone all the way in and hasn't attached to anything. I think we've got one this side. Oh, you bastard. Sorry, I'm going to have to put it around to the side a minute so I can see myself. I apologise if you cannot see, but at this particular moment in time, it's more important that I can see it. Right, there's a hole there, so I might use that one. That would make sense. If I can get it to bite. Come on, get in there. Yes.
Will it
So,
plug in the right way if it's upside down?
Yeah, this is there. Let's put the. I'll put that. Oh shit! I'll move that back round. Now this actually mounting it upside down, especially in this area, benefits it twofold. The first thing being that the oh crap. Yeah, that'll hold. You got cold air coming straight in from the front of your fans there, and the first thing it hits is this bottom basement section where it's ventilated. So that's going to start pushing cold air straight into your power supply. Now keeping your power supply cool is really, really important these days. Now this one has got the Zero Smart fan, which I've turned on already. So that means the fan's not going to start spinning until this gets up to about 40C internally, which is still quite warm to be fair. Like if you had 40C in your house, you'd be pretty pissed. So that is quite warm. So I like to have a little bit of air going over the power supply if I can. And in this situation, it's the perfect way of doing it because it's face up. So any residual heat is being kind of ventilated outward because obviously heat does try to escape. And because you've got cold air blowing in, kind of cold air blowing across, kind of pulls the heat out with it. It does pull it into the path of these fans, which then push up into your GPU. So there is a little bit of a trade-off for that, but certainly this makes your power supply run considerably cooler than it otherwise would normally. So yeah, I do like this design a lot. I think it works very, very well indeed. I like this case in general. There's a few things I would like to change on it, but in general, I think it's an absolutely excellent design. In fact, I'm tempted to get the 207 non-digital next, because I don't think we've had that on the channel before. At least I don't think we have. Might have to check my... is there a 217 as well? Lian Li's naming scheme for their kind of 200 series cases is very perplexing. Perplexing, that was a big word. Well, I might as well plug in a couple of connectors while I'm down here. So that is the front fans, I think. So I'll plug that into one of the fan headers at the bottom because those are nice and nearby. System fan header 3. There we go. Nice. So that's nice and neat out of the way. Yeah, I do like the way how they've done this case. It has got a lot going for it. It's a bit dusty in that back section. I had used this for a little while, but not a huge time. But unfortunately, when I was using it, I drilled some holes, and I'm not sure if anyone knows, but in the UK, most of our homes are made from either brick or concrete block, and basically it got red brick dust kind of everywhere. So there's little traces of red brick dust on everything.
Plus we had plastering done in.
Oh yeah, and we had plastering done in 3 rooms. So there's like plaster dust and all sorts. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, was it? Right, I do like this bottom basement section for plugging in the fans and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. I'll plug in the USB as well for the display on the front because that is powered from my USB cable. Actually, if I'm right in thinking, I'm sure there was another cable which had to be passed through for that, or was I wrong? Because there was... What have they got in there? Oh yeah, they supply it with an adapter, so if you don't have a spare internal USB 2 header, you can just plug it in and run it through the back, which is kind of good. Front panel connector, that is down in the front panel connection center area. Christ, my brain. I think it's that way round.
Probably a crap load of cat fur.
Yeah. Funnily enough, actually, there isn't really a lot of cat fur on this one. Normally there is, to be fair.
It was that high though, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was up on the top there, it wasn't so susceptible to cat fur. It was more susceptible to everything else. Our USB 3. Where's the USB 3? That was on the side. Oh, I don't like these ones.
Like these contractions.
Don't like calf when she says that. Oh yeah, this is the. Yes, I remember. This was the thing which caught me out last time. So on the back, you've got these straps for the cable management, and the USB 3 header is basically kind of just in round here somewhere, or no, just here I think it is. Yeah, just there. It's literally in line with that section, so I have to remove that to be able to put the USB on. I should really buy some USB extensions or pass-throughs so I can do like a 90-degree or something, or just get them out of the way. But yeah, that was my mistake. I did that before, and it's like, oh damn it. To be honest with you, it would have been better if they'd have done like a rail system so you could slide those up and down if you need to. But it wasn't the end of the world. And it's nice the fact that it's very kind of modular. So if you do need to take things apart, it's not like a complete faff to do it. And also it makes this USB a little bit easier to plug in. So I don't know about you, but I don't like plugging in USB 3 ports. It always it always fills me with a little bit of dread. And I'm thinking to myself that I'm going to bend one of those pins on that 30 pin block. And it's always like, oh, please no. Right, CPU connectors. So I think on this power supply, we've got enough CPU connectors so we can put in both of them. So I'm pretty sure the Tomahawk has actually got two 8 pins on the top. Yes, it has. So I am actually going to put both of those in, because I think that is the way forward. Has anyone in the chat said anything? Iman says this looks like a good case to build in. Oh, definitely. Of all the cases that I've built in over the last, I don't know, 4 to 5 years, I would say this is probably one of my more favourable experiences. My thing is, I wish that they had a little bit better options for the power supply mounting, like extra holes punched out of the metal, so you could put in a different power supply or put it in upside down, as I've done now, which isn't how you're meant to do it. They're expecting you to put it the other way around, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Brasher said, Ringrap, did Mike see your cute about the plastic wood case being returned, the H3? So I didn't see the original.
Oh no, no, I didn't. I didn't see that. No, the Rasher, did you send your case back? Is that what you're saying? Or yeah, mine's gone back. The other, that's gone back and been credited already. That the H3 from last week, that has gone back for those that are interested. Oh yeah, this is just really, really simple to build in. I do like this. Some Lian Li cases are just completely like barking mad, but this one is actually, there's a lot of things they've done like really, really well. And actually having a modular power supply does help a lot. And it's funny that there's pass-throughs just there, but yeah, there's a gap there anyway. Which is kind of strange. Oh, that's not very neat, is it? What's going on here? What have we done there? Darn licorice cables. No, that's okay. We're fine. Right, what other cables do I need to attach here at the moment? I don't think I need to actually attach anything else. So front audio, bottom fans, USB, front panel connection, front fans, EPS connector, main power, USB-C. Yeah, it just feels like, because it's actually so easy to build in, it just feels like you're missing something, because it's like, well, I can't be done already, surely. I am, and don't call me shortly. I wonder if I can get that back in. I don't think I can. Oh, I might be able to. Ah. Why didn't I think of that before? Does that work? Oh no. Yeah, that back bit is just a little bit too much for that cable in that position. That's a shame. There's nothing really there to cable manage anyway, and it's not as if there's actually really anything that needs cable management, to be fair. At least not at the moment anyway. So let's have a look and see what is going on here in the back. So it's all looking actually very neat and very tidy. So these are going to go either across along here, and then we can run those straight down through the cable management track. That probably is the best idea, to be fair. So I can run those down through, and I'll do that with this one as well. It's funny actually, because in the video description it does talk about cable management, and when I thought about it, it's like, actually I'm probably not going to do any cable management because there isn't really any to do. It's mostly done for you. But yeah, we have managed some cables. So true to the video description, we have kept our promise. Well, partially. And yeah, I think that is, we're looking pretty good. So I think with this now, because of plugging in the cables, we probably want to work backwards. So I'm going to do the GPU next. It does come with a PCI Express Gen 5 if you want to use that. You don't have to, obviously. And it does come with your traditional 8-pin connectors. And we need 2 of those because this graphics card is a 6 and an 8. So we're going to need 2 cables. I don't really want to daisy chain them. I normally do because it looks neater, but I think in this instance, because I'm testing the graphics card as well and I want to make sure that it is actually properly working, I actually do want to verify that. So I'm going to pop that cable in through there. There's a hole in the front of the case actually where you can just pass your cables through, then you can route them through. So I'll just pull that through to about there. And I'll do the same with this one as well. How was your coat, Kath?
Yeah, not bad.
Good?
Not bad.
Reasonable. Right. Actually, I was just thinking ahead slightly again. I was thinking, which way up do the graphics card connectors go actually in the case? Because I could make it so that the cables are super flat all the way through. But I don't think that's necessary really. We'll see. Right, so there's our cables through. We've got a little bit of slack there, so that is awesome. So let's plug those in. So our cables, see, peripheral SATA. Sorry, my eyesight is terrible on these funny angles. So let's give you an overhead shot so you can see what I can't see. So there's our connectors. So nice and easy to get to the connectors there. So I think our 12 volt, yeah, those are down there. So for the PCI Express, etc. I think there's another one there as well. Yep, that's those 2. And then we've got our power supply going to the top. Let's move that over that side. Because our power supply is going to want to go into that one. Full eclipse.
Yeah.
Total eclipse.
Pretty heat.
Yeah. Right, let's pull those wires back up out of there. And take those around there. 1 and 2. So yeah, those have reached all right. Yeah, could have done with that extra cable management track just there, really. Just hold those in place. But overall, I think that is pretty much it from that side. And it looks, actually, you probably can't see it that well from there. So let's give you the main camera. And there we go. Not too shabby. So I'm going to put the back panel on. Ideally, I could have put some cable ties and stuff in there, but it's fine. If I get bored, I might end up doing that. Yeah, it's not as if it's not making the case bulge out or anything. So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent shout. Oh, what have I done to my keyboard? Did I close chat? Oh no, it's there. Sorry, chat people, I closed you there a moment. Mike, if you ever come up to Scotland, try Iron Brew. I used to love Iron Brew. I used to get, back in the days when basically things were very different in the 80s, we had a thing over here in the UK called the Soda Stream, which I believe could probably come from America anyway.
Review one.
Yeah, we did actually do a review on the channel.
Review.
Yeah, I can't even remember that.
We didn't have the lid to the bottle because
Oh, yeah.
we borrowed it.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, check out our Soda Stream review on the channel.
I think it did really good at the beginning, didn't it?
I think it did get a lot of views.
I can't remember.
Weirdly.
Well, it was at the time. I don't know what it's like now.
Yeah. It's
awful.
oh dear.
Because we borrowed it, we thought it was all there, but somebody
Yeah.
had obviously taken stuff out of it.
We borrowed it from work to do a review on it, and then realised that someone had obviously taken some of the bits out of the box because it was supposed to be like a prop.
It's like brand new, not open, but
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, that was some of the darker days.
What was it you said? We just pour it in and cover it and put your hand over the top and shake it.
I
It went
think
everywhere.
I think we did. Yeah, I just put my hand over the top and to mix it and just shook it,
And it went everywhere.
and it went everywhere. Yeah. Oh dear.
And how many pushes to make it fizzy, and you did like extra.
Yeah, I did about 30 pushes of the fizzy button as well.
It was 30, wasn't it?
No, but it was more than you're supposed to. I thought I'll do a few more for luck. Oh, dear. The early days. We'll have to get another Soda Stream. They were great. But yeah, but going back to what I was saying, so the Iron Brew, that was one of the flavours that you could purchase to go with your Soda Stream carbonated drinks maker. And back in the day, you could get all the the genuine flavours. So you'd get like Iron Brew, Coca-Cola. I'm not sure if you could get Pepsi. Was it Pepsi and Cola that did them in the Soda Stream calf? Do you remember?
I like them.
I'm not too sure. You could definitely get Dr. Pepper. So it's probably Coca-Cola, not Pepsi. But Fanta, I think you could get at some point as well. Vimto. There's all kinds of different flavours and things you could get. It was a pretty cool thing. And it actually made fizzy drinks considerably cheaper, which by today's standards would it actually still be a thing, because fizzy drinks nowadays are insanely expensive. Like back then, I think a can of Coca-Cola would have been somewhere in the region of probably, I don't know, maybe 20p, 25p maybe, for like a 330ml can. Whereas now I think generally a 330ml can of drink in the UK now is probably the best part of £1, if not more.
I said £1, I bet it's more than that.
I honestly don't know. I haven't bought a can of Coke for so long. Actually, let me know, chat, if you're in the UK, or actually even in the States or wherever, US, let us know how much you pay for a can of fizzy drink, if you do. I don't recommend you drink fizzy drinks, personally, at least not with a high consumption rate, but if you do feel the need every now and then, you want to get a fizzy drink, then a bit of moderation isn't going to kill you. So they say. And until that's proven wrong, I'm going to carry on trying to do things in moderation.
They do Pepsi and 7-Up now.
Oh, cool. See, back in the day when we had our soda stream, all of the flavours were just like the normal flavours, so like the proper full-on sugary flavours. And if you wanted a diet-based one, there was only one, which was Diet Coke. Although saying that, I think you get a diet lemonade as well, possibly. But pretty much everything was just like full fat.
It's not fat, is it? It's
Well,
sugar.
full sugar, yeah. Which I actually prefer. I've just noticed actually there's no way of supporting this GPU in this position, because the bar only goes across a certain amount.
We've only really given up fizzy drinks because you can't get them without
What the hell?
sweeteners in. Even full sugar have got a sweetener in them.
Yeah,
Why would
yeah.
they do that?
These days, if you get the full sugar ones over here now in the UK, they've got, like, it says the ingredients is sugar, but they don't put all the sugar in. They also put, like, phenylalanine and aspartame. And,
Phenylalanine in that, something else. Is that actually?
no, phenylalanine is,
Oh, they are.
that's in quite a few of them, isn't it? I can't think what it is, but it is in a few of them. But yeah,
I think it's a product of aspartame, isn't it?
it's, yeah, there's something about phenylalanine which they have to put a warning on it to say that it contains it, because there is something that it does. I think even like tonic water back in the day used to have it. It says warning contains a source of
But it's
phenylalanine.
usually slimline tonic water, so that's probably what it's sweetener still.
That could be, yeah.
Just saying.
Anyway, I'm digressing. How are we looking so far? It's looking pretty good.
Thanos is in.
Thanos, good evening. What case is this? It is the Lian Li 207 digital. Jamie says, I actually stopped drinking Diet Coke, but as an ex-smoker, I can say it was harder than stopping smoking. Horrible withdrawal symptoms. Mark Gaines says, a can of Pepsi is £1.25. Thank you, Mark.
Wow.
The Dr. Pepper Zero clone cost me $1 for a 2-litre bottle, says Aletta. That's pretty good. Dave Venerdus says diet drinks are worse for diabetics than ones with sugar.
Yeah.
See, we've been saying that for years, because your body is receiving a sugar substitute, but not actually receiving the glucose and the energy with it. So your pancreas goes, right, sugar time, burn it. And there's nothing to burn. So the whatever it is that is excreted by your pancreas to burn fat doesn't burn fat, and it actually turns to fat. So you put on weight. So diet drinks are basically pointless.
As soon as I gave up any low fat or diet anything, I lost like 2 stone.
You know what I haven't put in here? I haven't put in a CPU cooler. We definitely need one of those, which is up here. In fact, depending how this goes, I might even leave this in here. So this is Thermalright. This is their classic low profile, which I think is going to look very, very wrong in here. But considering we've done most of the things, so many cable ties. Considering we've done most of the things wrong in here so far, then why not continue in that tradition? So let's go to the overhead camera, and we'll put this back down, and hopefully you can see it. And I think this is going to be the normal traditional Thermalright installation, where it's basically socket off, well, not socket off, the plates off, and you're done. Redneck CPU cooler equals Pepsi can. I'm sure that has been done. Diet drinks make you crave sugar more. I find, yeah.
Disgusting then.
What's that?
Make you crave the sugar.
Well, no, it's because
You know, it's got sweeteners in it.
your body, your tongue has tasted sweetness, so your pancreas is ready to burn that.
German medicine version.
No idea. So you've tasted something sweet, so your pancreas is like, right, sweet stuff. Let's get the enzymes going, and then you don't get it. So then you're like, your body's like, well, I've got these enzymes. I need to do something with them. Can I please have some sugar so I can digest it? Please, thank you. And yeah, until you give your body the actual sugar or some kind of glucose, it's going to keep on feeling hungry. Redman says, sorry, GPU too small for this cage. It is, you're right. But people don't want to spend the money. Oh dear, that's way too much paste. Yeah, it could do with being a bit bigger. But like everything, the more you, well, the bigger it gets, the more it costs. And for what I'm looking to sell this PC for, which will be probably in the kind of £600 to £700 mark, like you can't do it for that money for a decent triple cooler card, especially at this sort of level.
Case, not cage.
Yeah, I gotcha. I probably didn't want to do that.
Thanos finally did 4 updates in one day.
Wow.
Without any problem.
Well
I was
done.
freaking out each time.
I think we all do.
I had BIOS since 2019.
Jeez. Right, I think that's enough paste on there. Generally, you don't want to spread it with your finger, but this possibly won't be living on here for very long anyway, so I won't tell if you don't. And any excess which is on your finger, you can always lick or put onto your RAM. Don't put it on your RAM, I was joking. I can feel the letters coming in the complaint section. You told me to put CPU paste on my RAM and it don't work. No, I need a new motherboard. Yeah, I think need.
Stevia is also not recommended for diabetics. But stevia is actually used to be used as birth control.
Yes, stevia was a birth control thing years and years and years ago. It's funny how things changed now.
Oh, Thanos.
What's Thanos said?
You are the best, Mike and Kath.
Thank you, Thanos. You're the second best. You're the runner-up in the best categories. And you even get away with us not chastising you over being late to the streams.
Just heard on the news that the Dutchman who invented inflatable footwear has popped his gloves.
That's got to be Rasher.
Yeah.
Fucking A. That was good. That's some funny stuff.
Sorbitol used it as a laxative for years prior to use as sweetener.
Yeah.
Still is, isn't it?
Still is, yeah. I've got some chewing gum from Purr. You can get this. You can get this stuff on Amazon. Aspartame-free chewing gum, pomegranate mint, Purr gum, and this uses xylitol, which is probably one of the least bad sweeteners. It is somewhat natural, but it does say on there, warning: excessive consumption may give you the shits. It doesn't say that specifically, but it certainly does. Yeah, xylitol was supposed to be quite good for your teeth, but I don't think it's particularly great for your internals, but what can you do these days? Everything you want to eat or drink is out to kill you. Yeah, what's that? What's the fruit they use for
Monk fruit.
monk fruit? Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's supposed to be pretty good for a sweetener, isn't it? Monk fruit based sweetener.
I don't know, it's all messed with, isn't it?
Probably.
It's all like, there's not designed to break down on you if it's all messed and altered with, is it?
David Andrews says xylitol is sorbitol, a laxative. Yeah, it worked the other day. God, I got these. Oh, actually, I put them on my back. Those pure ones, they do a cinnamon flavour one. And I must have had about 4 or 5 of them in a day. And it actually burnt my mouth where the cinnamon was so hot. I had little blisters on my tongue and everything and the roof of my mouth.
Keep thinking you're talking.
But also, give me the right MC Trotskys. I was like, oh my god, here we go, I'm going to blow. Get me out of here. Right. Do I want this over the RAM or do I want it over the heatsink? I want it over the heatsink, I think. Over the VR. Where's Kerry Holsman when you need him? Because he'd be freaking out right now because of using a non-stock cooler. He likes his stock coolers.
Winter, I want more summer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think I'd agree.
We got more summer than we did. Although, to be fair, this year hasn't been as bad as most we usually have.
Yeah. This summer's been alright. Although it feels like it's autumn now. You can use a Coke can to clean an engine, lol. Yeah.
I never find it clean that good, to be honest.
I still can't get it to clean 2 peas properly.
Because I chucked it, like, we wouldn't drink it previously, and we chucked it in the toilet overnight, and it still...
Yeah, it didn't do anything, did it? Yeah. Mind you, that's after I had sorbitol, so... Did it burn on the way out? It did. It did, Jamie. Thanks for your concern. It was hot stuff. Very hot stuff. Right. Cable management for this isn't going to be overly pretty, but we do what we can. So I'm going to have to tuck that. I'm going to have to do like they do in Bangkok and tuck it in. Am I allowed to say that? I just realised that I said then. No, that doesn't look good.
In England it rains even in summer. God, yeah.
In England,
not so much this year.
It rains all the time in England. Doesn't matter what season it is, it just rains.
Although this year hasn't been so bad.
Yeah, this year, to be fair, it has been alright. Yeah, you can tell when there's going to be a hose pipe ban because yeah, we don't get any rain at all.
And they put the ban in place before it's even long enough to not have enough rain.
Oh, God's sake.
What's God's sake?
This cable... No, that'll do. Yeah, that's right. That works.
Oaty. Oats. Hello. Are you cute?
Otis says hello.
Are you cute? Gonna come and say hello? Oh, he's on the wrong camera now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Put it over for OT.
There we go.
No, Oots. Come.
Oh, he's gone.
Calm down, it's okay.
Poor Oats. Anyway. There we go. The fan is in. That looks awful. But it's not staying. It's just a temporary fixture. Just so we can get this thing to fire up. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Looks alright. I've seen a lot worse. And to be honest, that doesn't not really fit in with the whole design thing, the design language as such. But we'll see. Okie dokie. Oh, it's starting to get heavier now. So there we go. Timu? Timu 1021?
Yeah.
I have Ryzen 7 5800X and 5060 Ti 16 gig. Is it worth getting an AM5 CPU upgrade bund? I don't know. that is the thing. If you go from a 5800X, realistically, you're going to have to get at least a 7700 non-X is roughly the same, if not slightly better. Arguably a little bit better. So it's a really awkward position to be in. If you're almost towards the top end or higher end gaming CPU wise on the AM4 platform, making the jump to AM5, really, to see a massive difference, you have to go really with either much more cores, so you'll see the difference in that level, or you have to go for an X3D. So if you're on a stock 5800 non-X3D, if you went to a 7800 X3D, you'd definitely see a noticeable improvement in games, but probably not in raw FPS, mostly in your 1% lows. So yeah, it's a really difficult position. If you've already got a PC and it's in kind of like a reasonably high tier already, moving to the next platform doesn't really get you much, which is what I've kind of been saying for a long time now, that we've got to a certain point now where the kind of the upgrades or the kind of the upgrade path isn't really clear anymore. It used to be always that kind of like you knew that if you went from one platform to another, there would be the associated inherent benefits. But going from AM4 to AM5, really, there isn't anything which is kind of like a showstopper, which is like, yes, I'm glad I did this upgrade because I now have XYZ. That doesn't exist. And especially if you're on like a reasonably decent B550 or X570 motherboard, again, you have to then spend probably £50 more to get a kind of equivalent level board on the AM5 platform. And you don't necessarily get much more for it, because what they tend to do is make things faster. So your PCI Express slot will be the next gen faster. Your USBs might be 10 gigabit rather than 5 gigabit. So you're not really getting more of anything, you're just getting slightly faster. And with the B650 chipset being really not that big a step up, and the B850 being basically a B650 renamed, but with USB 4 option, it's kind of, we're still at the point where like a 5-year-old system really isn't that much worse off than a brand spanking new one. If you're buying a brand new system, it's much easier process and a much more obvious path, because you just, obviously you go for the newer platform because it makes sense. But being on the AM4 is a tricky one, unless you are someone who is a hobbyist and you just enjoy doing what you do because you enjoy doing what you do, in which case you don't really care that the performance is similar or the same, or like maybe even regressed in some areas. Like if you go from AM4 to AM5, your system will take longer to boot because DDR5, that's just the way it is. And that is one of the things that a lot of people said at the very beginning. It's like, my PC takes ages to boot. And even with context restore and memory training and tightening up your timings, etc., you still won't get a DDR5 system to boot faster than a DDR4 system. And a DDR4 system won't boot faster than a DDR3. It's just because of how memory works. And obviously memory counting and what have you. And also generally, most people, when they go from AM4 to AM5, they'll go from maybe 16 gigs AM4 to 32 gigs DDR5. So you've already got to count twice the amount of RAM. So for the memory self-test when it starts up. And it's all those little things which just add to the time for the boot process.
Is that the same on Intel?
Yeah, same for Intel DDR4 versus DDR5.
You reading Rashers?
I read Rashers just as I was taking a drink there. Gone down the wrong way. Thanks for that. Old Bob says, would be nice if you did a video explaining DDR5 training. I'm not sure if I'm really in the right... I'm the right person to talk about it. I don't feel that I really know enough. I know a bit, but I don't know enough. So I wouldn't want to make a video trying to sound authoritative on it when I don't really feel that I am. But thanks for the suggestion, and I might do that. I have touched upon it on a couple of the DDR5 videos, not in any huge detail. I suppose maybe it is one of those things that is worth explaining, possibly. Yeah, I might do that. David Underhill says, if your time is that precious, no, it's not really about time being precious. It's just the perceived thing. Like a computer being quick to most kind of non-techie people would be press the power button, where's my desktop? And if they've taken away their old PC, which booted up seemingly quick because it was older technology, to a newer system which takes longer to actually get to that first Windows screen, their initial reaction, the very first thing they're going to experience for their new PC is, why is it slower than my old one? And that is a common thing a lot of people say. And in fact, if you do a Google search, why is my new system slower than my old one? A lot of people are saying it. It's a very noticeable thing. Now, certain BIOSes, updates, and again, settings for DDR5, you can tweak it a little bit so it is a little bit better. But in general, it's going to be slower to boot. Airplane? Or Dave running down the wall?
Airplane is big. Sound like a big truck in down the back lane. But I couldn't hear it over your voice.
Semrab says, could never understand why DDR5 high latency versus DDR4. Oh, Bob says, you're an expert compared with me being an old fart. I'll take that as a win. Yeah, DDR5, the thing is with memory is there's always going to be somewhat of an offset or like a trade-off. So if you want memory to have a higher frequency, as in refresh cycles, then generally it's going to have a higher latency and vice versa. So if you reduce the latency, you can, if you reduce the latency, you can increase the frequency. If you decrease the frequency, you can lower the latency. I think that's how it works. I'm not an expert on it by any means, but yeah, RAM is a pain. Most people don't care less, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, and there's a question from Thanos.
There was a question from Thanos?
Yeah, I forgot because you... Mike, in order to... So 1028.
1028.
Well, that came out in my old time.
Mike, in order to install Windows 11, I have to clean install or I can't upgrade it from Windows Server. I don't think you can upgrade it from Windows Server. Do you mean server? So you've got the server install? Like Windows 2000 and whatever server? Or do you mean professional? I'm not sure. And my C disk is MBR format right now. So one way of working it out, if you go to your control panel, you can just click on the Windows Update and see if you get offered the Windows 11 update. If you don't get offered it, you can go to the Windows 11 website and click on the Get Windows 11 Now, and it'll run the diagnostic to see if your system will be able to take it as an upgrade. Personally, I would probably go with a fresh install, just to rule out any gremlins. But it depends on your system, what you've got installed, and how difficult that's going to be. Upgrades generally aren't too bad at all. To be fair, Windows 11 is Windows 10. It just looks slightly different and there's different programs installed on it. So the code base effectively is exactly the same. There's very, very few differences between the two in general.
It is a thing that you choose when you install to not lose any file. That's what Thanos has put.
Where's that? Oh yeah.
32.
It's a thing that you choose when you install. Not. Oh right, yeah, yeah. You can choose to install it without losing anything. So you can just do it as an in-place upgrade, which will keep your Windows system settings, but just update Windows 10 to Windows 11 if you're on that. If you're on Windows Server though, you're probably likely to have to do a fresh install because there isn't a Windows 11 server as far as I know. Right, yeah, we're there. I need to plug this in, don't I, and get it started up. Make sure it actually works.
No, I got Windows 10 Pro.
All right, yeah, if you've got Windows 10 Pro, you can just do the update. It'll probably tell you need to convert your C drive from MBR to GPT. There is a tool from Microsoft which will do that. Just type in Microsoft MBR to GPT tool, and there's basically a process and it'll convert it for you. Then you can change the BIOS from CSM to UEFI, turn on secure boot and all those things. Sometimes, like I said, if you haven't got all the BIOS settings done already, sometimes it's easier just to do that and just start afresh, but entirely up to you. Zippity doo dah, zippity day, my oh my, it's a Winmax day. That was the box, not me farting. I've not been xylitoled right up.
Maybe Bacon thought he was farting earlier, but it was just
Yeah.
his watch on the table.
It was, yeah, my watch was on the table, so I went, no. Yeah, like that. They thought it was me gassing. As the immortal Shaggy said, it wasn't me. Am I allowed to do that?
Not that time.
No, it wasn't that. No, not that time, it wasn't me. This is where I've run out of keyboards and mice again, isn't it? I really need to get a 3 or 4-way KVM switch, which would probably still just drive me insane. But I could do with additional KVM and more monitors and a bigger room and many things.
Yeah, but then you just fill it all up and it'd still be all crammed.
Yeah. You're not wrong. As
Just go out and in the garden.
what's his thing would say? What was his name? He used to do catchphrase, wasn't it?
Ted Rogers?
No, that was Wheelie Ben. Dee, 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 dee. What was his name?
Say what you see.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What was his name? He's Irish, isn't he?
He was Irish. Welly Bob must know it. Not Welly Bob. Rasher must know him. He's Irish as well. They all know each other. What was his name? Oh my goodness, I can't believe.
I'm thinking what the one that took over from him was called.
See what you see. I can't even do the accent. What was his name? Someone's going to have to say it in the comments because otherwise I'm going to lose my mind.
Catchphrase man.
Catchphrase man. What's... It's catchphrase with... I can't think of his name. Someone's going to have to say it. Most people don't know what the catchphrase is, let alone...
It's like a computer animation thing and you had to say what you see in it as a phrase.
Yeah. Oh, catchphrase was awesome. With Mr. Chips.
He was on... Is it Horoscope Skiing?
It's not Les Dennis, is it?
No.
Right, is the power supply on?
Roy something.
Roy Walker. Thank you. Well done.
Thanks, JJ.
Power supply's on.
I know, Patriot said that.
Good on you. Hey, we're up and running.
Oh, JJ said Ray Walker.
Ray Walker. Is he still with us? I don't think he is he?
Who was the man who took over from him? He was on
Don't
when we
know.
went to Butlins, wasn't he? We had
Yeah.
to watch that, didn't we, before we went out for the evening?
Yeah.
Before we could do.
Have a display. I'm not sure what was actually on that drive. It's going to say about TPM now, which I can't press the button because I haven't got a keyboard plugged in. I should have set up the fans and BIOS really.
Oxford says it will take me 6 hours to build my first PC.
Sounds about right. Recovery, yay! That means the drive that's in there I had something else on, which hasn't worked.
So does Rasher know him now? He knows who it is.
Yeah, Rasher, do you know Roy Walker? Say what you see. Just for those of you that haven't seen it, I will show you the Lian Li digital screen. So when Windows isn't running, it will just show the clock with the time and date. Unfortunately, it only shows you the time and date that it's been turned on. So the date normally stays correct as far as I know, but the time is the uptime rather than the daytime up until the software loads, in which case then it takes the actual time. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that. They might have changed it with a firmware update, but I guess there's no way really of this reading the time other than possibly from the BIOS.
Oh, that was it. Stephen Mulhern.
Stephen Mulhern.
Before Roy Walker, it was.
Why did that turn off?
It was after Stephen Mulhern, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why did that turn off? Does anybody know?
I don't know, but they couldn't see it because of the chat overlay.
I can't find a mouse.
It's there next to your paintbrush.
Got it. Gone.
If the banner is gone, I can see it.
Oh, was it stuck on the recovery? I think it was. Right, so I need another keyboard and mouse, which... Oh, I only took that back out just now. So we'll get the other keyboard and mouse and we'll quickly set the BIOS up. What was that? Is that the Nokia ringtone?
Yeah, I think so.
I suppose there's millions of people who are just getting like, not millions, over 100 people are currently just getting some kind of panic attack because it's their Nokia alarm and they're late for work. Or the boss is calling on the Nokia thing. I wonder why that just shuts off like that. Who knows? Old Faithful, the old Tough Gaming K3 or whatever it is, K1, isn't it? These the peripherals of choice when I'm doing my setups these days. Let's go into the BIOS. Now, unfortunately, I've got no way of actually capturing this so you can actually see what I'm doing. So all I can say is bear with. Although actually might be able to do it from the overhead, possibly. Yes, we can do it from the overhead. So let's go to overhead camera. And if I bend that right back, is that visible? Kind of. Thanks for the super chat. Who is that from? That is from Jason Woods. Hey Jason, party, party, party. And Jason, thank you for the little mini PC. Jason's kindly sent us over a little PC for us to do something with. And we're going to donate some of the money from the proceeds of it to a charity. I can't remember the exact details, but it only arrived, well, about 24 hours ago. So that is yet to be decided. But thank you very much, Jason. Much appreciated. Let's give you a little heart on that. There we go. I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Thank you, Jason. Sorry for the whistling a letter. See, I knew someone would get triggered. Right, let's set up the BIOS. I don't need that mouse, I need the other mouse.
Can we see the LCD now that the banner is off the screen?
Oh, yeah. Is that gone now? Yes, it is. So, let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit. There you go. That's close enough. Oh, I'm using the wrong bloody mouse, aren't I? Is that gone? Yeah, there we go. Right, okay. So, BIOS settings. First of all, let's sort out the fans, because that is super annoying.
I can hear no bass going on outside, can you?
Yeah. actually. So we've set CPU 1, that doesn't need to be done. System 1, System 2, System 3, PWM, and we'll enable Smart Fan Mode, and we'll knock that down a bit. And we go to System 5, set that to PWM also, and we'll make that a bit quieter.
Oh, it's just like they're singing to it.
That's better. I can hear myself think now. Perfect. So there's the fan setup. CPU core temperature at the moment, 41C. That's pretty nice. 40C, which, yeah, that's pretty reasonable for that cooler. It's quite a nice downdraft cooler as well, so it keeps all the RAM and other components around nearby. Cool. We'll turn on Expo, because this RAM does support Expo. And what else do we need to do? FTPM's on, UFI's on, RGB light control, yes. I won't turn on gain boost because that generally sucks. So system status, that's all looking good. It's not Sunday though for some reason. Why does it think it's Sunday?
Sunday. Only an hour and a quarter.
Yeah, system says the 23rd, isn't it? 23. And system time, was it 22:43? That's close enough. Thanks for the super chat. Who's that from? Oh, wrong mouse. David Underhill sent an Aussie dollar. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Is there a question with that? I can't see past there. No, I can't. There we go. But thank you very much. Much appreciated. Right, I'm not going to do anything too outrageous on this. Just going to have a quick look through. Graphics card detection set to auto. Yeah, I'll leave that as there. I probably will disable the onboard integrated. Yeah, disable the onboard because it's kind of pointless. It just messes around with the drivers. I think that's it. I'm not sure. Willy Bob. We'll do some precision boost overdrive, and we'll set that to advanced, and then we'll go to the curve optimizer, and we'll enable all cores, and we'll set that to a -20, which for most situations is fine. So it just takes a little bit of the edge off for the temps, and you basically won't lose any speed from it at all. If anything, you'll probably make it a bit faster. The MSI driver installer, we'll disable that as well, and we'll turn off the as media SATA because we don't really need that. And I think that is pretty much it. I don't think there's what's boot on there. Post beep, I'm going to turn on post beep because we do like a post beep, well, I don't think we'll say it. Info block, we'll lock that, and I think that is going to be pretty much it. I'm probably forgetting something. Hardware monitor. No, we've done all that, haven't we? Actually, the system fan 5, I'm going to reduce that just a little bit more. And also the main system fans, because they move so much air, they don't need to be doing hardly anything. Yeah, that's better. Okie dokie. Right, and yeah, I think that is fine. Let's grab my Windows 11 boot disk, and just to make sure that it does actually want to try to boot into Windows, or to install Windows. So in order to do that, because we've done all these settings here, you can actually go into settings now and into boot, and then you can go into boot override, which is normally on here, but it's not. Why is that not on here? Oh, because I didn't have it plugged in, did I, before? So we'll set our boot option to USB, UFI, and we'll set the second one as being our hard drive. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so close that down. That's all the changes we've made. We're happy with that, so we'll click yes, and it'll just do a quick reboot. Hopefully you can just about see what I'm doing. See if I can get it a bit closer. It might be slightly out of focus, so I do apologise, but that is a problem of the camera. Actually, it's not too bad, is it? And thanks once again, David, for the super chat. Right, we're rebooting.
They want to see the computer thing again.
What computer thing?
Yeah.
Oh?
That digital screen.
What? Oh, that screen?
Yeah, because you had the banner across it the whole time.
Oh yeah, it didn't say anything. I'll turn it around in a minute because I haven't installed the software.
Oh.
It needs software. Your PC device needs to be restarted. Oh, flipping hell. Press F8. I am pressing F8. Right, let's do...
He'll set a whole dollar. But it was a sexy US, not US, Australian one. Australians just...
Yeah, we like
I
Aussie
love
dollars.
Australian accent. It's so cool.
I don't know what the deal is with that drive.
Does Siri even speak to you anymore?
Rarely.
I might just change it back to some other language then.
Your PC knows... What is that? A required device isn't connected or cannot be accessed. What is that error code? Oh, did I bloody... I think I did. Right, let's do escape. Oh, no. Escape. We go into the BIOS and now the drive's in there, we should be able to get it to boot from it. Actually, what's the boot menu options on these? I can never remember what the boot option menu is on... Oh, actually MSI's F11, isn't it?
Aussie dollaroos.
Dollaroo? Settings. So, what do I want? Settings.
Yeah,
Boot.
I think you put the boot drive as USB hard drive.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen it now. Where's boot override? I'm sure that's supposed to be in here somewhere.
Do it for all the boot.
Why can I not find that? I think I've had a long day.
On MSI. F7.
I'm pretty sure it's... Oh, I know what I've done. Memory context restore enable. Should have that on as well. And power down enable. Enabled. And in settings. So I don't know if I did the TPM thing to start with. So I'm probably going to need to resort to Yuki Trusted Computing.
F12 boot process. F11.
I think that should do it. Where's TPM? Oh, secure boot. Disable. Custom. And change back to standard. Yes. No. Key management, and that should be all okay. So secure boot set to standard again. That'll reset it. Yes. Reset without saving. Yes. That should work. I think it's F11 for the boot menu, if I remember rightly. I hate secure boot and TPM. Ah, there we go. That's better. We'll start Windows install and see how this goes. Yeah, that's better. I think it was just a secure boot key. So I'm pretty sure whichever system I put this in previously, this drive, I did a Windows Enterprise install. So I probably did put some kind of security on it. I don't have a product key. Windows 11 Pro. Yeah, whatever. Hopefully it finds the disk. Yes, there we go. Right, disk 0 partition. So basically disk 0 is the highest disk on the M.2 ladder. So we can delete everything on disk 0. Get rid of all the partition information. Or alternatively, actually what you can do is if you do Shift F10 and you can type in disk part. I don't think you're going to be able to see this, are you? It's going to be well out of focus. But you can do disk part and you can do list disk.
Yeah, Mapes.
And then select disk 0, which is the top one. Then you just type the clean command. Disk part succeeding cleaning the disk, so we can close that. And now if we refresh, it should just show disk 0. Yeah, there we go. Disk 0 unpartitioned space. So that's a quicker way of doing it. If you don't want to faff around doing all those deleting the partitions, you can just do the clean command, which will erase it all. Then click next. I always worry about that bit. It feels like it's crashing or something because it just doesn't just go on and do what it needs to do. So that's installing Windows, so that's happy days. Let's go back to the main display. And Maze is having a bit of a clean out there. Let's have a look in the chat, see what anyone said. Yeah, does anybody know why Ryzen shows Ryzen as Ryzen sets? I don't know. That's a really weird thing. Yeah, I've noticed that a few times. I don't know why it is. Please lower the screen brightness. I would love to. Night Jason, thanks for stopping by. David Owner says, also can get someone who knows what he's doing to install Windows. Aletta says, type clear if you don't want to use your PC for the next 6 hours. Oh, what, in this part? Yeah, because that does that write zeros to all the sectors? I think it does. Right, so that is installing. I just want to make sure that this doesn't crash whilst doing the installation. I don't think it's going to, but it's there's always that slight worry, isn't there? And if we take a look, you can see the screen now, hopefully. So I don't think I've got anything else showing on the screen. So that is the screen. Basically doesn't show anything of interest other than uptime and the date. Bloody cats are fighting. I hate that noise. Hope they're alright. Calf's checking on them, just in case you're wondering. There's a cat who lives up the road from us. He's a bit of a lunatic. Likes hurting other cats. Dave's back in already, so he's okay. Wondering if Mike grabbed the Sapphire RX 7400. No, definitely not. Hey, Sinister Chef, how you doing? Don't let the cat get wet either. It's not raining at the moment, fortunately. Where are we? Going to need an Ethernet cable, aren't I, for this part of the setup? Yeah, our date format is Yeah, it's a weird date format on here. This is the English. No, I'm not sure. I think that must be the. Is that American? They do the year, then the month, then the date. Very good. Right. Anyway, that seems to be installing now. It's so annoying with the cables. They're never long enough. And you buy extensions and they're always way too long. There we go. Anyway, I think this turned out to be relatively successful. It's nice and quiet actually as well. Why don't you tell, Maisie? Come on, work. Anyway, I think it's looking good. It's not, yeah, it's not had any errors yet. So we appear to be happy days. Say some quick prayers. Let's have a look in the chat. Rick H says, nice build, Mike. Thank you very much, Rick. Arnold says, greetings. Can the disk part clean command be used to wipe a drive with BitLocker, then reinstall the OS? Yeah. Disk part runs at a pretty low level, and drive encryption is really designed more to not allow access. It isn't a means of actually locking the drive out from other things, so the drive can still be erased. As far as I'm aware, the only way you can actually, yeah, the drive itself will be technically locked as in data-wise, so you won't have access to the file system, but you've still got access to the physical drive itself. Actually, that's an interesting thing. I've not actually tried it, so I might actually do that. I might set up a drive with BitLocker just to see if it can then be cleaned in that respect. So I think it probably will do. You find them?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
They all okay?
I think so.
Good.
Only Otis was on top of the shed, so I can't see him, but he was running around.
It sounds like Poppy.
Poppy's in there. Candy's there.
Cool. Where's Fatty Flame?
Fatty Flame's there.
Yeah. It's not easy looking after 6 cats, especially when you hear fighting in the back lane. You think, oh God.
But you know it's yours when all the others go to near the windows and doors to look out. Even Maisie went.
No, she just needed a wee or some food or drink. There she is. Hey, Maisie. She's a bit lost now.
Okay, Pops.
Right, looks like Windows is installed. Or at least getting there. I want to see actually if the Shift F10 thing works. I generally don't tend to use it. I normally just use the domain version, which, to be honest with you, is much easier because you don't have to remember anything. Just click on domain. But I guess if you're using Windows 11 Home, which I honestly don't know why people would use Home. Like, you can get a license for Windows 11 Pro for the same price, if not cheaper, than Home anyway. If your device comes with it as standard, I understand it. Maisie, watch out. So let's just do next and
Maisie, you're right in the way.
type a name for this device. What should we call this? Let's call this Lian Lee. He says, God, I've forgotten how bad it is to type on one of these keyboards. Somebody said that the other day. They're like, I don't like mechanical keyboards because they keep on breaking. I want a membrane keyboard. And they're like, is yours still working? It's like, well, yeah, it's still working, but it's just god-awful thing to type on. I'm sure this thing must need like about 120 grams of force just to actuate a button.
Okay.
Might be not as much as that. Some of them are, definitely. Some, like the P key is like, needs a lot more force than the O. It's not very uniform at all. Don't need that anymore. Hey Poppy, you little bank holiday weekend wanker. I can say that's after the watershed now in the UK. Let's connect you to a network. I'm already connected to a network. You asked me that just now. Oh, actually, I can touchscreen it, can't I? I forgot it's touchscreen as well. I actually found that really useful the other day. My setup on my desk is I've got one of these in portrait mode on my left, and I've got the big screen in front of me. And there's something on the screen on a web page, and I was trying to zoom in to see it. And I was like, oh, where's the buttons for this, for zoom in? I thought, actually, easier way, just grabbed over to the side on my other monitor, because it's touchscreen, and just like did that gesture, and expanded it. It's like, yeah, that's much easier. That's worth its weight in gold. So set up for device for a school, and then choose other sign-in options. And after the drivers are installed, join the domain instead. And what should we call it? Let's call it Ryzen, because it's a Ryzen PC. And next, create a password. No, you're all right. There we go. No activation trickery or anything needed. We'll choose no for everything, or the lowest possible settings we can. They'll move all this around soon so that you click on the wrong stuff because the muscle memory will be gone. But yeah, there we go. It's installing. There's a super chat from David Undrill. 19 Aussie dollars. Buy some cat food for Dave and the crew. Slim Boy affiliate earnings. Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. They are expensive to keep. Well, they're not actually that expensive. Where's my mouse gone? Oh, that's the wrong mouse again. Jeez. There we go. Let's give that a heart and a like. Bless you. Try Shift F10. Someone said too late. I've done there. It might still work actually. Shift F10. Yeah, Shift F10 still works. You can still bring out the command interface if needed. Just make sure you click on it once you've done it, otherwise it won't work. But yeah, Shift F10 still seems to work. And I made this ISO today. Well, not an ISO, sorry, the Windows Media Creation Tool. I did this, what time is it now? About 7 hours ago. 6-7 hours ago. No, actually it's more than that. About 8 hours ago. But everything seems to work, so I'm pretty pleased. So that is going to do its rest of its install now. There ain't really much more left because the rest of it's just going to be drivers and stuff, which is pretty boring shit. The PC's now been up for 25 minutes. That is a real disappointment for me, that screen. I really wish it had some means of reading the BIOS clock to get the timing and date. Because as well, if your motherboard's got it set so that USB is active, when the PC is switched off but still powered, that screen stays on. And that would have been so nice to have the proper time and date on there. Maybe it does. There might be a firmware update for it. I haven't installed the Lian software in a good 2 or 3 months now, I guess. So when this is finished, I will at some point install the latest Lian software just to get that running. And to have the stats on there, and I will see if there's any updates, and if there is any updates, I'll do a little video on it just to kind of share the knowledge. There is also an update on the Thermaltake RGB software 3.0, which has just been released yesterday, so I might do an update on that if there's anything in it. Yes, Kath?
It's Adam B. Does the command for local only still work?
Yes. Yeah, the local only command still works. As far as I'm aware, they both do. The MX whatever key thing, that works, and the original one, the oh god, what was the original one? I very rarely use them. I always use the domain one, but the other two, which used to be, is it OBE, MSOOB, whatever it is, the out of box experience thing, yeah, that still works as far as I know. I have tried it, but I generally just use the domain one because it's easier. Thanos. Hey Mike, if I convert to GPT from MBR via the software from Microsoft, after install Windows 11, is there going to be any problem? The only thing you're going to get this is a really common thing. So if you're converting a drive from MBR to GPT, there's a few things in the step or in the process. So a lot of people come onto the Discord when they get problems with this because they've tried to install a game like Battlefield or whatever, Battlefront, and it says, oh, it needs secure boot to run. So they just turn on secure boot in the BIOS, but don't realize that secure boot also relies on other things like TPM, UEFI, etc., etc. So if you haven't got all your ducks in a row, so to speak, it doesn't work properly. So you have to have, your drive has to be GPT for Windows 11 install. You can get around it. Like, probably the easiest way, if you want to get around it, is to just use Rufus. You can get Rufus to set up a Windows image, so you can do it as an upgrade and just remove all those requirements. So you can get rid of secure boot, get rid of TPM, GPT, all that kind of stuff. You can just remove it, so it doesn't need any of it. But if you want to do it properly, there's like an order you have to do it. So if you change your hard drive from MBR to GPT, when you reboot for the first time, it won't boot, because if your BIOS is set to CSM rather than UEFI, it's not going to detect a new UEFI disk, because your MBR is CSM and GPT is UEFI. So you have to make sure that you switch that over during the process. And then you got the whole secure boot thing as well. It's never pretty. Sometimes it's easier just to do all the setting changes in the BIOS and then just do a fresh install, because then you know it's all done right. But otherwise, especially if it's like your only system, if you get to a point where you've done the conversion from MBR to GPT and then the system doesn't like booting with UEFI for some reason, like maybe one device doesn't support it, you're knackered. So yeah, I haven't had a massive amount of experience with it. I'll be completely honest with you. It's not something I do on a daily basis. I would suggest somebody like Matthew Day, far more knowledgeable than me on the whole MBR GPT thing. If he's in the chat or if he's on our Discord, you could possibly ask him. I'll put a link for the Discord in the chat. I would think, probably be one of the wiser people on our Discord when it comes to the whole UEFI GPT MBR thing. Possibly also O'Reilly. Lead Farmer as well, possibly. I'm not too sure about Lead Farmer. Lead Farmer is more your firmware guy, your BIOS updates and stuff like that. I'm not too sure how skilled or clued up he is on the whole secure boot UEFI MBR thing, but I think he's in the chat at the moment, so he may answer for himself. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think that is probably all the ones I can think of. Sinister Chef says it's a headache. I just did that on girlfriend's PC. Thankfully her boot drive was GPT already and she was already on Windows 11, just had to make it secure boot. Gotcha. Yeah, there's so many things to look out for that can go wrong. O'Reilly says it was tricky for me even to convert MBR to GPT and then create a UEFI partition 100 meg. Yeah, so it's not as simple as you would think, and there are lots of little pitfalls. Like I said, like Kath's PC over there, I'm not too sure if that's on UEFI or whether that's on MBR or GPT. It's Windows 10. I think it is on GPT. I hope and pray it is, because I need to do a Windows 11 upgrade on it very shortly. And if it isn't on it already, I might have to just wipe it.
No.
Or just stay on Windows 10.
I'm not losing my tabs.
I'm not closing her tabs. Oh, for fuck's sake. I might have to.
You'll have to write them all down.
I'm not writing down all your tabs.
I'll forget what order, and it'll just mess with my...
I don't think it will mess with your tabs anyway, I don't think.
It will, you know it will.
Well, no, because if you close the tabs, close the windows, then do the upgrade, it shouldn't change it, should it? They should still open up as they were.
But you always say that and they never do, and I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I know.
And then it messes with my muscle memory.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Greg M says has done several MBR to GPT. There you go. Have a chat with Greg M, Thanos. He might be your man. Aletta says, I turned off Secure Boot and TPM and installed Windows 11 anyway. I didn't think you could, unless you had a special ISO or a modified ISO. Born Joker says, I declined every service they offer. I don't know if that helps. What is that in regard to, sorry? Matthew Day, best way to get the BIOS 100% Windows 10 ready is update the Windows 11 ready version and then clear the CMOS. Yeah, actually, if Thanos has just done the BIOS updates, he should be on the latest version. So, in theory, Secure Boot and TPM and all that sort of stuff should be enabled. So, it might just be the MBR to GPT. Still, I think it is a practice which is potentially fraught with danger. If it was someone else's computer, I wouldn't like to do it. If it was my own computer, I wouldn't care. I'd just do it. And I'd just live with it for a few days if it all went wrong. And I'd try and work out a way to fix it. Do it there. All right, don't we? Thanos says, only TPM is enabled. I couldn't find where to do Secure Boot. It should be on autumn. I don't think. No, actually, yeah, you can turn on TPM and not have Secure Boot enabled. And I think you can do the vice versa as well. It should be in your BIOS settings on the first page. It should be in security. Most BIOSes make it reasonably easy to find that setting now because it is quite commonly accessed. Isn't it, Flame? What's he found?
Nothing.
You been fighting?
He's been here with us. He was asleep on the table, wasn't he?
Right, this thing is still getting updates ready, so I think that's about it. We've come up to the 3-hour mark, even though the screen says 34 minutes. That is lying.
Did you show the front of that PC
Yeah,
casing?
I think they can see that. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Camera up, your glass. Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can see it, can't you?
There's glass right there.
Yeah, it does. The screen actually, it doesn't do itself justice without the software installed. With the software installed, it's much better. You can see that all the cat's hair is being sucked into this. This front mesh is brilliant for dust filtration for larger particles, but smaller particles it struggles with. But the fans, these are 160mm fans, and because you can run them a lot slower, like they're really silent as well. Just a really gentle hum. But they move a load of air, an absolute ton of air. And almost, I think, even though that is magnetic, I think it will almost... Let's see if I can get it to hold it. No. It's, yeah, it's pretty strong. And yeah, that dust filter does a pretty decent job. I do like this case overall. And hopefully, I think if I haven't done the 207 already, I think I'm going to try and get one. Just to see what that is like. In terms of price and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that is we've got 2 minutes left, have we, before we hit the 3-hour mark. Okay, let's see. So CMCB says bye. Yeah, I think we're pretty much wrapped it up, haven't we? Hopefully you've enjoyed this little trip down Lian Li Ling. It's been enjoyable. Well, Windows is finished installing. Happy days. Let's get the Windows updates going. Windows download and install. Let's get that done. Let that do that in the background while we're chatting. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, obviously do the usual thing. Smash the like button if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. Do nothing and just wait for next week. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and all that kind of usual stuff. If you want to help out the channel, you know the links, they're in the video description. Also, we've got the Discord, so over the bank holiday weekend, if you're stuck around, you've got no idea what to do and you just want to have a chat, feel free to drop by our Discord. I'll put a link in the chat for that now. And of course, if you want to be down with the cool kids, like myself and Steve from Gamers Nexus, and various others, Steve from Gamers Nexus, I didn't realise, is actually on Rumble as well. So we are also on Rumble. And it does appear that there's more and more of your favourite content creators and just other content creators that are heading over to Rumble just to have a secondary platform. So, like this week, YouTube took down Steve's video, the 3.5 hour whatever it was, on the NVIDIA graphics cards and what goes on in China and the illegal distribution, etc. It got taken down by Bloomberg, and YouTube, being YouTube, just, yep, no problem, we'll take the video down. But it was on Rumble as well, which Rumble said, no, we're not taking it down, screw you. So there's one in the eyeball for YouTube. Thank you, Rumble. And yeah, long may it continue. So if you want to see content that you wouldn't normally see or potentially can't see on YouTube, you can join us on Rumble. I probably shouldn't say this stuff because YouTube will probably be like, Anyway, regardless. If you do want to watch content, you can do. Kath is still in the process of uploading the videos, so you do get slightly earlier access to the videos on Rumble. It doesn't benefit us at all because we don't make any money at all whatsoever on Rumble. Well, we do, but it's like fractions of a penny. It's ridiculous. But it's another option, so if you want to see our content a little bit earlier, you can watch it on Rumble. It's our safety blanket, and we would appreciate if you do watch our stuff on there. Just maybe drop us a like or sub if you can. It doesn't cost you anything. It's like YouTube basically. So if you can do, feel free to do so. And basically our whole back catalogue is being uploaded. And obviously if you want to, you can watch it in Brave. So that will be completely ad free. So you get no ads at all through the entire video. So if you do want to have one of those kind of long format videos or watch one of the older live streams, you can stick it on, watch it in Brave, on Rumble. I know, it's true. Yeah, you know what you can do anyway. So yeah.
Well, I watch the old live streams where Mike used to get drunk and tell you about cracking his car. And
yeah, let's not go down that route. I don't want to install that software at all. So, thanks all for watching. Hopefully you've had a fantastic evening. I've enjoyed it. If you haven't, sorry, my bad. Thanks for all your continued contributions, your conversations, and also super chats, memberships, etc. PayPals, yeah, you're all fantastic, lovely people. Well, I think that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a fantastic rest of your bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. And for the rest of you, go back to work on Monday, suckers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye. Say bye, Kath.